All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Pow-wow stream. I'm not sure if it's 3 or 4.
I think this is 3.
I think that's what I was thinking. I am your host, Johnny Hellcat. With me is the Hey Camel.
Hello.
And Terry DeMattis.
Hey, guys.
So, yeah, Matt Christensen has pissed us off again.
Inadvertently, but yeah.
Inadvertently, yes. But, yeah. I think this is the same stuff that a friend of mine I was telling you about earlier. Yeah, this is the same kind of stuff that he espouses, and it's just reading through it over like Facebook is just insanity. I mean, I don't know how anyone can look at something and be like, "Oh, that's racist." Well, it's against the white person. Oh, never mind then.
I think what pissed me off the most about the video was the judge, because after I graduated high school and I was no longer doing debate, I did go back and I would judge competitions for my school. And the biggest thing is that you don't sit there and argue with the kids after the round is over. You know, you take your notes, you write them down on the ballot as to who you felt won and why, and you turn that in. Very rarely, if at all, would you ever give an oral critique of a debate round. At least in Oklahoma and in the debate circles that I ran in, that was frowned upon, because it could negatively influence the competitors going forward into their next rounds.
Yeah, I could see it being a major distraction even.
Yeah. So I mean, the whole point was that, you know, if you the only critique I would ever give when I was judging was I told the competitors before the round started, I said, if you spread, you lose. And in debate parlance, spreading meant talking really fast, like auctioneer speed almost.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
The whole point was to get as much argument into the allotted time as possible, so that way your competition would have a hard time refuting all of it. It was a shotgun effect, just, you know, throwing everything to the wall and seeing what sticks at, you know, double speed. And so I would tell kids before the start of the rounds, like, look, if I can't understand what you're saying, you're not persuading me that you should win this round. And in no other setting in life are you going to win an argument by talking as fast as you can.
Well, and I even asked my friend, how can you even catch any of what they're saying?
You can't. That's the whole point. The whole point is that you talk as fast as you can, so that way your competition can't can't take notes. Because the whole point, the whole time that you're talking, your opponents are supposed to be taking notes on what you're saying. You know, at least one of them should be, and the other one should be looking for evidence to refute your arguments. And I told him, like, look, if I'm judging and I can't understand what you're saying, and I can't get the tags written down fast enough, you're going to lose. You know, the whole point is to persuade me that your argument is better than your opponent's. Not to just say, well, they didn't cover this, or that, so those arguments automatically go to our side and we win. It's like, how can you say that if I don't have any record of you making those arguments either, because you said it too fast? So that was the only thing I would ever tell students when I was judging. It's like, look, speak naturally. If you've got good arguments, if you've got good evidence, you know, give me a chance to actually hear them. But yeah, him sitting there and arguing with those kids, that was completely uncalled for. And if I was their coach, I would have lodged a formal complaint with the tournament, which probably wouldn't have done any good, because the same people who are running the debate tournaments are probably going to agree with that guy.
Wasn't
sorry
it the
about
same?
that. My internet just died. So I haven't heard anything that happened for the last few minutes. Sorry about that.
You had to pull start the drop bear to get the internet started back up.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just telling Johnny about how when I would judge debate competitions, the only thing I would tell the competitors, and it would be before the round started, was do not spread your arguments. Try and speak eloquently and effectively and persuade me as to why you're right and your opponents are wrong.
Did they get bonus marks if they made the other person cry?
Oh, if you can make the other person cry, that's automatic victory in my book.
Okay, good.
Yeah, a friend of mine told me during when he, I think it was during state. One of the arguments he used is, he didn't go straight for the Bible, but he kind of baited the gal he was debating into bringing up Jesus. And as soon as he's like, yeah, Jesus wouldn't do that, she went off, like, just on this whole tangent, and she just lost all of her cool.
Yeah.
And in that, a lot of times she didn't actually lodge the complaint or the argument. And so, yeah, she apparently lost that round. And then by the end of that, she was bawling.
I suppose it was good tactics to get her angry, so she went off the point.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you could get your opponent to get pissed off enough to where they stop focusing on what they're supposed to be arguing about, the more the better.
Yeah, for sure.
I did make one girl cry when I was in debate, and I felt no remorse whatsoever. But it was funny to me. It's like, holy shit, she actually cried. She cried. Wow.
I think anything that if you cry during a debate, I think there's something emotionally wrong with you, because you should be able to keep it together longer than that. Like, unless they're doing something like going after your recently deceased loved ones or something like that. If they're staying on topic and they can get you to cry, there's something wrong with you.
Well, I mean, a debate round is less than an hour.
Exactly.
You know, if you can't keep your shit together for an hour in the face of just argument, just words, you don't deserve to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, that pissed me off. And then I watched the Rogan interview with Jack Dorsey this morning, which apparently it got ratioed to fuck all, and they pulled it down yesterday. But yeah, they pulled it down like within 5 or 6 hours, I think, of it going live.
Jesus.
And then they re-uploaded it this morning. It was after Monkey in the Morning when they re-uploaded it, because I told Monkey, like, yeah, it's been pulled down. I didn't know why at the time.
I saw someone posting about that on Twitter. It might have been you, but someone posted the screenshot of it not being up anymore.
No, it wasn't me, because I didn't go to try and listen to it until I was at work.
Okay. It might have been Peter. I think it was Peter Hades that did it then. But someone had a screenshot of the they've gone to listen to it, and it's not available anymore.
Well, yeah, it posted back up this morning, and when I got home and sat down and watched it, it had, I think, 1,000 upvotes, like 4,500 downvotes, and 55,000, almost 56,000 views.
Jesus.
Which I wish I had been able to see the original.
Yes.
because with it being, Jack, I figure a bunch of people wanted to watch that one. Especially considering, like Rogan's been friends with Alex Jones for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, Jack was the last person to go ahead and yeet Mr. Jones.
Yep.
What is yeet?
As far as I'm aware, in the internet usage I've seen, it's pretty much like, getting kicked out.
Yeah. I've not been able to pin down a precise definition, but it basically seems to be gotten rid of. Like,
Yeah.
to yeet someone is to get rid of them.
The one I saw that I thought was the funniest was like Yeetus that fetus.
Yeah, when Kamala Harris was saying guns should be banned because they could kill babies, I posted, yeah, you should kill babies with forceps, not bullets.
That is the preferred Democratic method.
It is.
Oh.
So apparently Mike Headley is back, but he's only working part-time on the Twitters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's got an alt account that he's going to be tweeting offensive meme threads for on the weekends.
Excellent.
And then he'll come back to his original, well, not his original, but his regular Mike Headley account next year.
Yeah. There's a lot of bannings that go on with Twitter these days. I'm not surprised Mike lost another account.
Well, I just remember him saying, "It's like, yeah, I'm done with Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram." It's like, well, yeah, so long, nice knowing you. Like, I'm not on Facebook. I'm sure as shit not getting on Instagram.
Yeah,
I'm on Facebook because my real life friends are there and not on Twitter. I don't actually post anything on Facebook anymore, but I'll occasionally just sort of look through, and if someone posts something funny, I'll like it. But it's gotten very political, and that's not something I want to engage in with my real life friends. Like if someone's avidly anti-Trump, I don't want to have to sort of navigate and go, well, actually, you're misrepresenting him here, or actually,
Right. I mean, if I'm going to argue with people about politics, I want it to be strangers on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Because then you don't care if you cross a line and say something to piss them off because they're strangers. You don't want to piss off the people that you're friends with because too many friendships have ended over this bullshit. You don't really want to add to the statistic.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
how's
that
it going,
depends on the
Pat?
friends.
Hey, Pat.
What's up, yo?
How's it
Now,
going?
forgive me if you hear a lot of background noise like cars and things like that, because I'm in like the dining room of my house, so we live by like by the highway, so you hear like yow yow yow.
No, that's fine. I live by a busy road as well, so.
So it's like our family coming in and out.
How have you been, Pat?
I've been good, like, working and then, seeing a lot of stuff that's been going on Twitter, whether politics wise or, like, friends wise. I've been
Yeah.
trying to make a video, but it's like, I just ain't been having the time. Well, damn, like, what topic?
Yeah.
Because I've had so many things to talk about, like, from the politics that's going on and stuff right there. And now, like, the Super Bowl's gonna get popping off. And
Yeah.
then, like, oh Lord, did you see the thing between Pop Tart and Gamer Babe on Twitter?
No, I missed that. What happened?
Yeah, same here.
Well, it was like a little small disagreement. I like to call it that, but like there was this hey sweetie, there was this there was like this female on Twitter. She calls herself International or something like that. Basically, she's a Snapchat hoe. So she had posted up something like she had got her first speeding ticket and she was asking who wanted to pay for it. She had put it up like about 2 hours later. Then she had took it down because she got some Joe Schmo to actually pay for it. And so in return, she said she was going to put them on her premium Snapchat for like 6 months and then send them like personal thank you, whatever that's going to be, all that right there. So a lot of people, started really barking about, arguing about it and stuff like that, and me myself, I'm like, well, I really don't see nothing wrong with it. I'm like, hey, shit, she played the game. She said, hey, who wants to pay for this ticket in return? I'll add you on my Snapchat right there. So I'm like, hey, I can't be angry at that. If some gullible person wants to, pay for how much that ticket would ever cost,
Yeah,
at least they're getting something in return. So that's what Pop Tart was arguing.
Yeah,
She
I
was
mean,
arguing like, it was a fair trade, but like Gamer Bay, like, like God bless her. She was basically because she was basically on the opposite side because she was saying like, but in the end, the woman doesn't learn anything. She doesn't take responsibility for her actions or her consequences, when it comes to things like this. All she's gonna do is she's gonna expect somebody else to pay for it. So I'm sitting right here, I'm looking at both of them, like I'm like, they both got good points right there, but it's like you can't you couldn't like decide who to agree with upon because it's like
yeah,
I like Pop Tart's argument because Poppy was saying like, yeah, she got this guy to pay for her speeding ticket, but in the end, she is giving him something in return. While Gamer Babe was basically saying, like, but she's not learning anything in the process. All she's just learning is like, okay, if I get in trouble, I'll just play the damsel in distress, and some guy's gonna come and rescue me.
no, I agree. I can see both sides of the argument there.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Now that would be a fun debate round to judge.
Yeah,
Because I know Poppy, man. Like I said, when she gets on the situation, especially when it comes to like the sex industry and stuff like that, man. Ooh, Poppy she will give you one. That's why I love her.
I think it's funny that whenever I try and get involved in internet fucketry, it always ends up just being a fairly peaceful resolution after like two tweets. I must be too nice to people.
Well,
Because
Yeah, you gotta get down in the trenches. Yeah, like Poppy and Gamer Babe, like me and Sofang. Shit.
Ranting Feminist was posting about conservatives like equating miscarriages with baby killing, and
Oh
then
yeah.
the example that she gave didn't actually say that. So I said, well, so she said, okay, my entire Twitter feed is littered with the current topic of late term abortions and births of unviable babies. Due to circumstances from my past, I just can't handle that topic. If you need me, I'll be on Instagram looking at puppies. Hit me up when it's over. And then
Oh, that was
someone,
Mims.
that was Mems. And then someone has said, why? Did you murder a child too? And I pointed out that while obviously still a needlessly cruel question, there's nothing in Mems's post that specifies she had a miscarriage. The second person wasn't, based on those two posts, knowingly equating a miscarriage with baby killing. They probably thought she had an abortion. And
Mm.
then Big Daddy Dracula comes in and says, this comes off as if you're implying that makes it okay. Like, yes, I often refer to things that are okay as needlessly cruel. And then he quickly reverts and says, oh, I knew what you were saying. It was just a heads up.
that's
Yeah,
that
because I saw
walking.
I saw that post for Mims and stuff. I don't know if I know Mim is like pro-choice and all that right there, but I don't she hasn't really explained like her reasons for that.
No, but my point was just that there's nothing in Mems's post that says that she's had a miscarriage. So
Uh,
the guy replying can't be assumed to know that that's what she's talking about. There's nothing in her post that makes that clear. So to assume that the second guy was specifically equating miscarriage and baby killing is unfair because he hasn't, based on the evidence, he hasn't done that yet.
hmm
He might still think that way. I don't know, but nothing that has been tweeted has been sort of an indication of that.
So were they asking, or were they like assuming that Mims just had like a
Well,
miscarriage or an abortion or something like that?
so In response to Mems's post, they said, "Why did you murder a child too?"
Oh,
So
so they were asking, but in like a jackass kind of way.
yeah, sort of like an accusatory question.
Mhm.
But the whole point that Ranting Feminist was making was that conservatives are equating miscarriage and killing babies. And he didn't do that because Mems never said anything about miscarriages. So he
Mhm.
probably thought Mems couldn't talk about this subject because she had had an abortion, not a miscarriage.
But random feminist came in like a big ass shield maiden and just
Yes,
did
exactly.
that right there.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds like her.
Yeah, yeah.
The only time I see ranting feminists on my timeline is when Hammer is replying to her.
Yeah.
And,
Hammer and feminists go at it quite a lot.
and when I
Yeah.
see that, I'm just like, okay, well, Hammer's doing his thing. Keep scrolling.
Mhm.
Oh,
That's usually when I see her pop up right there when somebody who's like following her, and things like that, And the only time she really gets on my nerves and when she tries to virtue signal for like non-white people and all that right there. That's when, especially
yeah.
black people, because she gets on her high horse, like with the white guilt and all that right there. Trying to speak for black people and talking about, oh, we shouldn't do this around them, we shouldn't say this around them and things like that. And I'm like, I don't need you talking for me.
I've only heard her on like one live stream. Isn't she one of your countrymen, Terry?
Yes, she is.
So we can blame Australia for her? Okay.
Yes, we can. I do think she's one of the better ones that used to be in Christy Winters' little gang. I think,
Oh God, that makes it worse.
but of the people who are in Christy Winters' little network, Ranting Feminist is one of the better ones. Like, she can be reasonable. She's not a Steve Shives where she'll block anyone with the slightest hint of disagreement. She is willing to discuss things. I think she's insane with some of her positions, but she is at least willing to have the conversation, which is pretty good for someone in that crowd.
Mhm.
Yeah, I keep trying to get the people that I argue with on Twitter to just do a hangout, not even a live stream. Just I want to hear their voice.
Yeah,
I want to hear the actual tone they use when they speak. To see if there's anything getting lost in translation with it just being text based on Twitter.
I,
Should we?
I almost guarantee that it is.
With some of them, like I said, they're like these opportunistic type and things like that. Like what the people like with the rent and feminists and all that right there. It's like they'll talk to you only if they can benefit from it. Like if you got
Yeah,
like what if you got like 100 subscribers and stuff like that, they ain't gonna want to talk to you. However, if you got 10,000, oh yeah, then they'll pop up. You
yes,
know,
definitely. There's a lot of
they
that.
want to say, okay, this person got a lot of followers or a lot of subscribers right here, so I probably can benefit from debating with them.
I guess that's my problem. I go for people who have slightly more followers on Twitter than I do. I'm not trying to argue with Fane or ranting feminists or any of them.
Yeah. I'm getting there like when I start live streaming, to the fact where I start like talking to people, whether they're big or small, like I gotta start networking very soon.
Yeah, I'm not trying to build an audience, so I'll just if I see something that I have an opinion on, I'll just post it. Like I don't care if they've got one follower or a million followers. If they've got a million, they probably won't see my comment, but I'll still make it.
I know, but I'm at the point right now where it's like I want to try to pick some of these people's brains, like I was saying, like why do you think in such a way, like what makes
Yeah.
you like lean, like this and that, just hearing what they got to say, because everybody's always talking about neither side never talks, or they're accusing this side of not associating with that side, and when they do, we already see what happens. That radical extreme side, starts,
Hmm.
you know, bringing up pitchforks and torches and all that.
I thought about bringing my friend on to try and talk to him, but I know for a fact that I'm going to piss him off and he's going to dox me.
Yeah.
Like, it will get that heated for him because I'm
See, that's when you bring him on and you moderate and you let him argue with me. you can be the neutral third party, like, hey man, you're a debate coach. I got this guy on the internet who he was in debate. Maybe you guys can have an argument.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, you just have to pick a subject, any subject, and be like, all right, well, let's do this debate style.
Well, actually, I got on a debate. It was after Bill Maher cracked the joke about working the fields in Nebraska.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
And I pretty much, it was me against all of his friends. And I was like, I don't say anything wrong with it.
No.
And they're just like, well, why wouldn't, that's a racist word. I'm like, he was talking about himself.
Yeah.
Like he didn't call anyone that word out of race, at a racist context. There was
Yeah.
no.
But like I say, oh, go ahead.
Oh, and the fact that he brought Ice Cube and Simone Sanders on to rake him over the coals afterwards was ridiculous.
That was pathetic.
his Randy Marsh moment.
Yeah.
That's all I could think about when I saw that clip of him and Ice Cube. Was just Ice Cube was Jesse Jackson and Bill was Randy Marsh.
Yeah. You might as well just took his shirt off and just beat himself with a whip, like, oh, I'm so sorry for saying this and that,
Yeah. Yeah, you're not far off.
Well, the only thing that I took from that comment was that Bill is a lazy fuck who has never worked a day in his life any hard labor. Like the hardest job he's had was selling weed at Cornell in the 70s. And that's by his own admission.
Yeah, yeah, he's even said that he's not a worker.
He's an Ivy League English major who was a middling hack comic. And somehow he has convinced millions of people on premium cable that he has some profound political insights.
He does not.
Hey. But then again, I've seen a lot of people who have no talent and nothing whatsoever to get some of the biggest followings I've ever seen. Like look at the Woe Vickies and the Danielle Bergalis and all that right there. Like these people basically, like I said, got millions of followers. Like acting a fool. They have no talent whatsoever.
Kim Kardashian can't even suck a dick, and look how well she's doing.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me for that one, because I'm like, really? Ray J made her famous.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
How bad does Ray J feel now? I mean, it's like the most famous thing he's known for is some woman who sucked his dick.
Yeah.
I can't name one song of his. I can't tell you the last time he toured, but I can tell you all about that sex tape.
Yeah, I'm saying,
He needs to work on his camera angles.
I'm saying he's either known for that tape or he's known for being Brandy's brother.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, like I say, yeah, he's
Did she ever go to jail for killing that person?
Yeah, she did.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if she's out, and if she is, I said she has been having like a very low profile because I've hardly been hearing anything about her.
Wait, Brandy killed somebody?
Yeah, like I think it was a motor accident.
See if I can find it.
See, she should have done like Bruce and switched genders and became Brandon. Everyone forgot all about that shit.
Randy jail time.
Yeah, man. If she went trans, she could be doing a buddy cop movie with Chaz Bono right now.
Let's see. Facing up to a year and a $1,000 fine if charged and convicted of vehicular manslaughter in 2006.
Okay. But the problem with going trans is then she'd have to go into a male prison, which I guarantee she doesn't want.
Maybe she should have did like Riley Reid, bragged about it on Twitter.
Yeah, I watched your video and then I watched the one you linked it to, and That's when I realized I was getting old, man, because watching that dude's gameplay footage was giving me nausea.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that is the trip though, man. I'm saying what this female right here could sit up here like what this happened like 7, 8 years ago, and brag about. I'm saying like raping her boyfriend, which what technically it was, but the way she explained it and stuff like that, all she basically did I'm saying she pressured him into like having public sex.
Yeah.
Like it's like he wanted oh, that's the folks right there. It's like it's like he wanted to, but it's like but he didn't want to do it like right then and there because according to the story, they were at the movies, and of course Riley Reed, if you know her stuff right there, she's a kinky exhibitionist. So she wanted to do it right then and there, and the dude just like now is not the time. So she just said, "Hey, I'm just gonna take it right there." Now, can you imagine if that was one of us and we was popular like her and we would have did that right there, man? We'd have Rose McGowan, Asia Argento, and all the Me Too fools all up our ass.
Oh, guaranteed.
I mean, I'm saying we would have. I'm saying we probably would have made CNN. Male porn star now what's called the Me Too.
Well, how much shit is James Dean still getting?
Mm.
I was scrolling through my timeline the other day, and because I took Sinatra's advice, I follow like 50 some odd porn stars now, just to balance out the timeline. and was it Nina Kay? I think that's the one it was. She was talking about James Dean yesterday. She had some kind of post about I guess he's coming back to work for a studio or something. She was pissed about it.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see. It says she was not charged with a crime, but she had 4 wrongful death charges.
Damn. 4?
Yep.
Hell, Bruce only killed one lady. And she's only looking at a year for that?
She was only looking at a year, and she didn't even get that.
Yeah.
They didn't even charge her.
What a fair legal system we have.
Yeah, it's all that white privilege she has.
Yeah.
Oh wait.
Yeah, that's how it works, man. She gets to be free because she's a straight white male.
I hate to break it to me, but she's black.
But we can just gloss over that we don't have to make a big deal about that side of things.
Well, my people never told me that, so I don't know.
You're giving wrong information.
Yes.
Speaking of black and white and whatnot, the Virginia governor. Holy shit, man!
Oh yeah.
I just saw a clip from CNN on Twitter. Let me scroll back down here so I can find it. He says that he came out and said originally that he was in the photo, but he didn't remember if he was in the blackface or the Klansman.
Because either one is going to save him.
And then he came out later and said he wasn't in the photo. And the clip I saw from CNN, because they had it subtitled while I was listening to you guys, so that he did at one time in San Antonio, I guess, put himself in blackface, but it was for like a Michael Jackson costume.
Well, considering that they think coal miners are doing blackface when they get dirt on their face.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's sad.
That is one of the most ridiculous things.
Yeah, that's when you're reaching for something then.
Yeah.
Oh, listen to this. Is it yearbook photo was racist, offensive, and despicable, says Virginia governor, speaking at the executive mansion in Richmond. I was unaware of what was on my page. I am not either of the people in that photo. It's your yearbook page, man. Who put that picture in there if it wasn't you?
I did see that he claims there was a mix-up at the yearbook, like office or something like that. They put the wrong picture.
It wasn't me.
Yeah.
I mean, but like all of us have been to school. All of us surely have, yearbooks from our times in school. What's the first thing you do when you get a yearbook? You go and look yourself up to make sure the pictures came out good.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
as long
mean,
as you hide behind the Shaggy defense, it wasn't me.
Yeah, no. Because that's exactly what he pulled.
but like
Oh.
every year in school on yearbook day, first thing you do is you go and find your picture, and then you
Yeah.
start having people, sign it for you. Which I
Mm-hmm.
realized this was like medical school, right? He was like in his mid-20s when this yearbook came out, but still, I kind of feel like that behavior pattern holds, and he should have seen this shit a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it did slip his mind, like I said, he just, but well, yeah, that was me back in the day. I was, I was a dumbass, and I did what I did. I'm not that person, not no more, and all that right there. Just own it. Instead of sitting up here trying to make up these, like, oh, that wasn't me. Like saying, yeah, you got caught, being, a hypocrite and stuff like that, man. Own that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I can admit that I did some dumbass things when I was a teenager.
Oh
Like
yeah.
everyone did.
Fugi brings up something interesting in the chat. Did Bill Maher do something?
No,
He's talking about that one. Okay, gotcha.
yeah.
I was gonna say, it's like, damn, did he do something again? Because I mean, he's still got his ass in a sling for all the comic book nerds pissed at him right now. So I don't think he could overcome like comic book Twitter and Black Twitter getting mad at him at the same time.
Oh, speaking of Black Twitter, have you been seeing the Black Batman argument?
I saw a little bit of it, but like I've only seen like 2 posts really. I think one of them had a what was that? It looked like they had a picture of that dude from Get Out. Like they were like talking
Yeah,
about
it was
casting
him.
him.
Mm-hmm. And it's some guy. I keep forgetting his name, but he is just like him saying, like fanboying his butt off, like, oh, this should be the next Bruce Wayne and all that right there. And I've been looking at a lot of the arguments, and what's been surprising me that I'm saying that a lot of Black Twitter is basically saying like, nah, we don't want to see this right here. We want to see like new characters, being made up and all that right there. We're tired of this, taking all these, taking all these white characters and making them black and all that right there, and then calling that, like progress and diversity. And I'm like, Black Twitter saying this, and I went and I checked and like, yes, sir. You got your few handful that's sitting up here, like, yeah, we need a black Batman, but the majority of them are like, no, we don't.
Well, I think it's kind of insulting to just take a white character, change the skin color, and say, "There you go. You can have your own special version."
Well, yeah, I mean that's the. I mean, like when they did like Lady Thor,
Mm-hmm.
it's like seriously, you don't have any other Asgardian characters that are female that could be used. It's got to be a female Thor,
Mm-hmm.
Cough, cough, Sif. Cough, cough.
right?
That's what I said. It's like, when it's all said and done, that's all they're gonna be. They're gonna be whatever race, sex, creed, religion, whatever. I'm saying, whatever one of those tropes and stuff like that they put on this well-established character. That's all they're ever gonna be. You turn Batman black, he's gonna be the black Batman. You turn him female, like I said, he's gonna be the female Batman. All that right there. It ain't gonna be like Batman because that character is already well established.
You can see that with the Ghostbusters thing. Everyone refers to it as female Ghostbusters. It's not like they're mentioned by name or anything. No one knows the names of the characters. They're just the girl Ghostbusters because they just lazily took an established franchise and tried to make it, progressive.
And look what happened. It bombed.
Yeah, big time.
And I think that movie would have been just fine if everyone just shut the hell up.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, everyone, like even the director and the actresses are all just shit talking their target audience.
Watch this. You're sexist. Yeah.
Yeah, that's never a good plan, insulting the people that you want to buy your product. Well,
Exactly, because the ones that they're pandering to aren't going to go see this. That's what they
no,
fail to realize. All these people who they pandering to, they don't buy nothing. They don't, they don't support it when it comes out and nothing like that. But yet they always demand it, but they
yeah.
still haven't caught on to that yet.
Well, even if you pander to them, you don't have to insult the people that will see. Like, you can make a female Ghostbusters, but then to turn around and say anyone who has a problem with this is a sexist bigot asshole, then the people that would have otherwise seen your movie are now definitely not going to see it.
Hmm.
But Terry, everything is racist. Everything is sexist. Everything is homophobic. And you have to call it all out.
Whatever happened to that eyesore? She has been irrelevant for quite some time now, and I do not miss her.
Oh, she's been waiting for that bait to come in the water.
Yeah. See, people started doing what they should have done from the start and stopped paying attention to her, and then she
Hmm. She fell into obscurity.
pretty much, yeah.
All right, let's see if this works.
That's right. Apologize.
Now they need to do that same thing to Kathy Griffin.
Yeah.
Because I am so sick and tired of seeing that ugly.
Oh yeah,
I still maintain that that's actually Andy Dick, and he just has two personalities.
all the cocaine has split him.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you never see them in the same room at the same time, do you?
exactly.
Ooh, good one. Yeah, we can make that a conspiracy theory if YouTube wasn't, trying to ban those.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, man. I got plenty of tinfoil for that theory of mine.
We could just call it investigations.
Yeah.
Now, it's just I don't know what to say about Kathy Griffin. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that it was Trump that caused all of this with, like her and all these other celebrities. There had to have been something going on with these people before that.
The camel. He's trying to ruin her.
No, what it was is before they were getting their way, and now they didn't get their way with Trump, and so they're kind of flashing out.
They're throwing tantrums and shit.
Yeah, basically.
And plus, like I said, with liberal Hollywood right now, it's like, in order to make it in Hollywood, you gotta be anti-Trump.
Yes.
Otherwise, you don't get no job.
Yeah, very much so.
So that's why I feel like when it comes to a lot of them that's sitting up here, that's on this hate train right here. That's why I feel like that's what it mostly is. They know if I want a job, if I want to keep my cushiony lifestyle and all that right there, I gotta run with this. I gotta say this. I gotta advocate for this right there. Otherwise, the next time I'm looking for an acting gig or something like that, I'm not going to get it.
Well, Ben Shapiro has been saying that there's been plenty of actors who've told him that they actually like his work, but they can't publicly say that because they'll be, kicked out of Hollywood in terms of a
Yep.
career.
Oh yeah, and I believe it.
Yeah, me
Look,
too.
I'm saying, cause look at any of the celebrities that have actually come out, in Trump's paper. I'm saying you don't see them hardly in anything.
No.
I mean, you don't hardly see like Joy Villa, Kaya Jones. You know what I'm saying? James Woods. He already well established, so it's like he can do whatever he wants to and stuff like that. He don't give a fuck.
No.
But it's like the rest of these newcomers, it's like they got to be anti, otherwise they don't get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
I can only name like a few conservative actors off the top of my head, and that's Clint Eastwood, James Woods, Stephen Baldwin, and Adam Baldwin. No relation. Like those are the only four that I can think of.
Yeah.
If you had tried to get me to name a fifth one, I'd be hard pressed.
Yeah. And the reason with those, like I said, those are the ones who already put their time in, and they're already at legendary status. So it's like
Oh yeah.
they don't have to, they don't have to go out there and search for stuff no more because they already got their stuff well established. Like I told you, but now when you get these newcomers and all this stuff right there, whether they're in movies, whether they're in television, whether they're in music, they got to go this route.
Yeah, I mean, if I was
Or
an up-and-coming actor, I'd be pretending that I hated Trump.
yeah,
It'd be the only way to further your career.
yeah, and that's what it is. Well, what are they going to do once he's out of office? It's like, I can just imagine, like, like they're going to be just like, okay, now what?
Well, I think it was Tim Pool who was saying that being opposed to Trump isn't a sufficient sort of unifying concept because what happens when he leaves? Because you can't be united against something as the only thing that keeps you together. And so he's saying what's going to happen to the Democratic Party when Trump leaves is like they're running on "We hate Trump." It's like that's their only platform,
Hmm.
and it's not going to work once he's gone.
Well, once Trump is out of office, whether it's in 2020 or 2024, they're going to run on the new platform of socialism, pretty much. I mean, look at how much play like AOC is getting with her Green New Deal and 70% marginal tax rates, and look at Elizabeth Warren pushing a millionaire and billionaire tax.
Yeah,
Once Trump's gone, they're going to have to actually try and run on these policies. Excuse
yeah,
me.
but
And the majority of Americans are going to say, "Fuck you,"
that's what I was going to say. Like
and then they're
running
really going to have a meltdown.
running on socialism is not going to work.
Mm-mm.
Like there's a very small number of people who think, yeah, that'd fix everything. But most people know that socialism is terrible. It's like 0% success rate.
I think
But
they're trying to take the money from the wrong area. It's not that they need to be taxed more. It's that their stipends and stuff that caused the '08 crash.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff needs to be regulated.
oh, it's like subsidies and everything.
Yeah, that's the stuff that they need to put the kibosh on.
Well, they talk about how they're not paying their fair share. These loopholes. It's like, well, then close the loopholes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you guys are writing the laws. Why are you putting loopholes in there in the first place? It's not. It's not because It's not because you're in the pocket of billionaires. It's because you're making a shitload of money in Congress, and once you get out, you want to keep that coin.
Yeah. It's that big '08 crash was actually pretty good for me because I still had all my money in the bank at that time. So it was a very good time to invest because everything became dirt cheap.
Yeah, I wish I'd bought a Ford back in the day. Now, so
Mm.
like they were giving like shares of stock when you would buy a Ford. And like you had like what was it, like $1 shares
Yeah.
because Ford didn't take any bailout money.
Mm.
Oh
But
man.
But yeah, if you had money in the stock market, then yeah, you took a massive hit. But if you were like me, and I was just too lazy, I never bothered um, investing until that happens. Like, okay, I need to see a financial advisor. I've got money, I should invest it now.
Yeah, like my dad lost like 17 grand from his 401k when
Jeez.
but I mean he's made it all back, because
Yeah,
the
of course.
market's rebounded. So
But a lot of people sort of panic sold. They thought,
oh yeah, definitely.
and then once you do that, you can't get the money back. Like even when the stocks go back up, you've already sold them, so you kind of permanently accepting that loss instead of trying to ride it out until things pick up again.
Mm.
I think a
But
lot of it is, a lot of people, they don't invest in stuff, you know, like I had a simulator that I used when I was in college for one of my, I can't remember what class it was now, but it was just like a stock simulator.
Hmm.
It took real time financial data from the stock markets, and you would use digital currency to buy these stocks, and you could hold them and sell them, and however you wanted to do it. And my strategy was just, I'm gonna buy stuff that I know, that I use. If I'm gonna invest in tech, it's gonna be Microsoft, Apple, something that I know, and that it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I
Yeah.
buy Walmart, buy I bought Staples. That actually turned out to be a pretty good one
Okay. Cool.
because it was like $8 a share, and it started going up. I think I ended up, by the end of that simulation that I did for 6 months, 8 months, I was up like 40%,
Nice.
and that was
Nice.
back in 2015.
Okay.
So
I
just buying stuff like Ford, buying GM, buying Goodyear, buying Staples, buying Walmart. I'm not trying to get into some medical startup or some new tech
no.
venture.
Think.
something that's established.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
See, I took the approach that this is too important for me to risk doing it wrong. So I'm going to pay the money to get a proper financial advisor who knows what the fuck they're doing, rather than me trying to, oh yeah, I've heard of McDonald's, I'll buy McDonald's kind of thing. No. Go to financial advisor. Whatever the hell they say, they're the experts, and so
Mm.
I'm quite happy that I did that.
So I found that article that Fugi was talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bill Maher makes racist Popeye's chicken remark to black Congressman Will Hurd.
Oh dear.
What do you say about my Popeye?
This is where he talked. This is where he talked about that and got targeted by D. Ray McKesson and Chance the Rapper. And then Al Sharpton said
Oh,
put his 2 cents in.
Now, am I getting
race
Chance the
bait
Rapper
now.
confused with somebody else, or is he like the really short dude? Was it somebody else they were making fun of for being like tiny, or is that him?
I don't know who either of these people are, so I can't help.
Well, D. Ray
Well, we know.
McKesson was the guy who went on a tirade after, what was it, Planet of the Apes?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, with the blue
saying-
vest.
saying good-
Yeah, he's like one of the BLM, jackass.
It's bad when Whoopi Goldberg is telling you to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yes.
Like,
Well, the truth of the matter is, Johnny, that wasn't Whoopi Goldberg. That was Patrick Swayze talking through Whoopi Goldberg, telling the to shut the fuck up.
returning the favor.
I'm just going to assume that anytime Whoopi says anything sensible, it's just Swayze.
Let's see. And then, Al Sharpton is better known by being on Mr. Deeds.
Wait, Al Sharpton was in Mr. Deeds? I
Yeah,
haven't
he
seen
did a
that movie
cameo.
in forever.
He did the cameo for the funeral.
Oh. Every time I think about Al Sharpton, I think about that Eddie Griffin joke. He was talking about doing like some stand up for what awards was it? But like they told him, like, before the show, like he couldn't say the N word, and he couldn't say motherfucker. And he was joking about Al Sharpton. He's like, "Where's your church?" But anytime I think of Al Sharpton, that's the first thing that pops into my mind is Eddie Griffin going, "Where's your church?"
Let's see. On Friday night's Real Time, after mocking ex-Starbucks CEO and presidential hopeful Howard Schultz, quote, a giant asshole, and President Trump, quote, he knows nothing about black people. Maher welcomed Will Hurd, a Republican congressman representing Texas's 23rd district, onto the program. Following some back and forth about the border wall, which Hurd, who represents more border than any part of the Congress, isn't a fan of, Maher asked Hurd, who is black, I guess that's supposed to be relevant, why he's Republican. I'm a Republican because I believe in limited government, Hurd responded. But they don't do that, interrupted Maher. I'm a Republican because I believe in the rule of law. I'm a Republican because I believe in economic opportunity, Hurd continued. They don't do that either, Maher interrupted again. I'm just asking why you're a Republican, he pressed. Because they're not good at debt. That was their big thing. You said limited government. They don't do that. They took over Congress in 2011 and they raised the debt $1 trillion a year. They're not good at national defense. The president's a traitor. What's in it for you? ?
God, what a smug douche.
What is in the Republican Party for you? You were in the CIA. With that, Hurd explained, I was in the CIA for almost a decade. I was the dude in the back alleys at 4 o'clock in the morning, collecting intelligence on threats to the homeland. That's where you'd collect it, huh? Wow. Shot back Maher. By the Popeyes chicken? The usually game crowd elicited a groan, and Maher flashed an embarrassed look, as if he knew he'd screwed up yet again on the first day of Black History Month.
He knows HBO got Ice Cube on speed dial. That's why.
In fact, I think I'm going to tweet that. Let's see.
This was from this Friday?
Yep.
From yesterday?
Yep.
I'm like, and so what? I'm like, oh, okay, so what's so bad about that? Besides, like I said, you know what? He told a fried chicken joke to a black guy. That's all I'm basically in. It's like, oh God.
I don't really have a problem with him cracking jokes about Popeyes. I think the problem I have is him talking down to this congressman about.
Now, if you said KFC better than Popeyes, we'd be fighting right there. But it's like, other than that, shit.
So, serious question, because I'm Australian, so I don't really get the context. But why is it that fried chicken is so closely associated with black people? Because I eat fried chicken and I'm not black. It's just like, Isn't that an everybody food?
Yes, everybody food, especially down in the South. But hey,
well, that's like
it's been dubbed that way.
That's like that Chappelle stand-up. He's just like, if you don't like fried chicken and watermelon, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. I thought all this time I was eating fried chicken because it was delicious. Apparently, I'm genetically predisposed.
Well, the problem is like. All right, go ahead.
I was gonna say just like a lot of the stereotypes about like black people with food. That's not really like black people. That's poor people in general, especially in the South.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, if you go down the list, fried chicken, barbecue, watermelon, Kool-Aid, that's poor people shit. And I love all of it.
Yeah, I'm saying
it's tasty.
Even if I wasn't black, I'm living down here in the South, man. Shoot, it's getting gorged up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I eat fried chicken quite regularly. Maybe I'm part black. I don't know, but
I think the reason why is because black people kind of like they kind of made it they kind of made it their thing. Okay. Oh yeah, we black, we eat chicken and watermelons and catfish, corn, collard greens, and fatback and all that shit right there. When you see a lot of black people claiming that right there and things like that, and so you see somebody different, of a different race sitting up there, then all of a sudden it's like everybody want to feign offense. Like, you can't say that, you can't do that. You're offending those black folks and all.
Yeah, fair enough. I do always like how it's white people taking offense on behalf of black people. Like
Oh,
that tends to happen far more than black people genuinely being offended about these things.
Yeah, that is a pretty common thing. What I think is hilarious is I've had black people ask me to tell them black jokes, and white people get offended at it. Oh, that's racist. I was like, not according to my black friends. They think it's hilarious. Like, I remember the first time it happened. I was in high school, and a buddy of mine lived in the same apartment complex as me. He begged me to tell him black jokes. I think it was when did that movie come out with Bernie Mac and Ashton Kutcher?
Meet
no, no,
I want to
damn,
say
what was
this
that
was
movie
like a
called?
couple years after that movie had come out. It was like early 2000s,
Hmm.
early to mid 2000s. And I guess he had finally sat down and saw that movie. And he's like, he asked me, he's like, you know black jokes? I was like, I mean, like
2005.
2005.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we were in high school then.
High school, god damn,
Yeah.
young ass. Shit.
Yeah. I'm finally cracking the 3.0 this month. So
Wait, this calls it a comedy of manners.
what?
It's called a comedy of manners.
That's like the tagline for the movie.
No, it's yeah, Guess Who, PG-13, made in 2005. It's a romance / comedy of manners.
Oh, okay.
All right.
What the hell's that supposed to mean?
I have no idea, considering it's got Bernie Mac in it. But oh man, I miss Bernie. But
Oh,
yeah, man. Like, after that movie came out, my buddy he walked up to, because I lived in the floor above him, so he walked up to my floor, knocked on my door. It's like, hey man, you seen this movie? It's like, yeah, I saw it. Like, you ever heard them black jokes before? It's like, yeah, I heard a few of them. Like, how many you know? I was like, oh, are you sure you want to go down this road, dude? He's like,
Comedy of manners.
he's like, can you tell me something? I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, I could, but I'm gonna need you to sign a release, like in triplicate, notarized. Yeah, I ain't taking an ass whooping for a joke, all right?
See, it's a comedy that satirizes behavior in a particular social group, especially the upper classes.
The upper classes.
That just makes me not want to see it.
I got to rewatch that movie now because I do not remember it being about class. But what I think is funny is you don't hear nearly as many like white jokes in the same vein. It's a lot of it, is like, no seasoning on food, can't dance, got that nerdy voice. It's like, all right, man, I've been hearing this for 30 years. Come on, give me something new.
Was it?
That's the other one.
Who was it that did the joke about the white guy having the black guy having the white guy voice?
The white guy having the black guy having the white guy voice?
Yeah, like how the black. It's
I know Tom Segura does a pretty good black voice.
There's always a white comedian who has a black voice, who has the black see.
Nah, I said shit. I'm confused.
It's yeah. There's always let's see, the white comic who tells the joke of the black guy doing the white voice.
Oh, okay. I'm with you now.
Like I said, I know Tom Segura does a pretty good black voice. He has that podcast with his wife, Your Mom's House, where they'll play that game, Tom or Black. You got to guess whether it's Tom saying something or if it's a black dude saying it. But, I mean, what else we got going on today? Virginia. I think that's hilarious. Like the Virginia governor is like that wasn't me in that photo, but I did dress up, in blackface for Michael Jackson costumes.
Yeah, not the greatest defense.
Yeah.
Well, I just had to remind myself, like, wait, this is the '80s. Michael was still black back then. Okay.
Yeah, I said, yeah, he still was. Like I said, Mike didn't start. He started going light until around what the early mid '90s.
I want to say late '80s, early '90s. Because like Free Willy, that was like what, 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah, it's like the early
Yeah,
'90s.
he was white.
Well, whenever Thriller came out, you could see that he'd already started. Like he was less black looking than when he was in the Jackson 5 by the time like Thriller came out. So he'd already started on the journey by then.
See, like the lightening the skin never bugged me. What got me was the nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
The nose that had me all fucked up. It was like, because my mom, she had Thriller on vinyl, and so I'd be sitting there flipping through her records, and you'd see that, and then look up on MTV, they're playing like the Free Willy song or whatever. It's like, what the fuck happened to your face, man?
I know.
How do you go from looking like, the king of pop to Skeletor?
Yeah, because he was a decent looking guy, like around the Thriller era where he'd had a bit of work done, but not an excessive amount. He was a decent looking guy. And then he turned into something out of a horror movie.
It's because of The Fire and Lisa Marie Presley.
Ah.
but the wildest part was, even after all that, he still had men and women just and passing the fuck out. Now name ever since Mike passed away and stuff like that, how many other music celebrities and stuff like that have you seen like reach that pinnacle right there? Where you got men, women, and children like screaming, passing out, selling out your venues to the fact where I'm saying not only they in the venue, they outside of the venue. But man, they got like 40 to 50 like ambulances like ready, like to take care of the people who are like, passing out from your damn shows and all that right there. People rushing your damn, stage and all that right there. Like how many people have done that since Mike?
Yeah, I know.
None.
They can't do it.
Well, also, I mean, how many of those music celebrities, how many of those pop stars are holding patents? I mean, Michael had patents for different stage rigging to help him do some of that choreography, like the lean.
Oh yeah.
The Smooth Criminal.
Yeah. He holds a patent for whatever stage rigging they had for him to be able to do that.
Yeah, because that's really impossible. Nobody can lean that far forward, man, and no shit.
Yeah, that's got to take some leg strength.
Oh, definitely.
And a lot of invisible string.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a cramp in my calf just thinking about it, dude.
I just like thinking about all the little kids who fell flat on their faces trying to copy it.
Man, I couldn't even get the moonwalk down. There was no way I was going to try for that.
Oh god. Well, I couldn't because I never had a slick enough, because like I told you, I live in the country. What am I gonna do? Try to moonwalk in the sand?
I got a couple things. 3 to be exact. One for Fugi. Popeye's chicken is the shit.
Oh yeah, no
Let
doubt.
it slide down your throat hole, man.
Oh, yeah,
I'm still trying to get Rome Millennial to debate me on that.
that's good stuff. 2, I watched your video and I handled everything except for the pickled pig's feet.
Oh yeah, that.
Like you lost me at the pig's feet.
Oh, that's another southern thing right there, boy. Pickled pig feet. Oh man, as a little kid, always used to tear those things up.
I always just think about Friday whenever I hear pig's feet. Like every time I come in the kitchen, you in here eating up the chitlins. I want some chitlins. I want some pig's feet.
Shit. I said pig feet down here, man, especially cooked right. Oh my god, boy, people, man, we fight over those.
I mean, I'll eat anything. So if someone served me pig's feet, I'd have no problem eating them. It's just none of the restaurants that delivered to my area happen to serve pig's feet.
Well, I can't remember who said this. It was a comedian or it was a movie or something. But I've always used it as like, I'll eat a possum's asshole if you cook it right. I don't care, man. As long as it tastes good, I'll eat it.
Yeah. I mean, I freaked a lot of people out because we went to a restaurant as a work thing for I forget what it was for. It was some event. And I ordered lamb brains because hey, I've never tried lamb brains before. And they're like, "How the hell can you eat that?" It's just meat. And it's because it's called lamb brains, and you happen to think that sounds gross. I mean,
Hmm.
it's just dead animal like any other.
I don't know. Did they hook it up?
The one that we have around here where I live is lamb fries, which it's actually not even lamb. I don't know why they call them lamb fries. It's
Okay.
it's cow testicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
The Rocky Mountain oysters.
exactly.
Ah,
I don't even eat those. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't
they
matter.
cook them right. They're all right. It's a little chewy, but I mean, other than that,
But yeah, it's dead animal. If you're willing to eat beef, you should be willing to eat any other part of a cow. Same with a sheep or a pig.
I don't know. Some parts I've seen, like I said, like man, there are some people so country down here they even eat cow's tongue.
Yeah, I mean, I'd try it just to see what it tasted like. I mean, if it was terrible, then I wouldn't have it again. But
I guess it
I,
just depends on how you cook it. If they hook it up, then to the fact where it's like, I can't taste that. Damn, that's actually quite good.
yeah.
I
A lot
mean,
of the stuff I've tried, it's never even been an issue of taste. It's usually like texture and consistency.
hmm,
Mm.
Like trying calamari, that's a little too chewy for me.
okay. I mean, the lamb brains for me didn't taste like anything. They were very bland. But hey, now I know not to have them again. They're like, okay, they don't taste very good.
So Terry found the one thing that doesn't taste like chicken.
It doesn't taste like anything. It just tasted like because they were like covered in breadcrumbs, so it tasted like breadcrumbs. Because I think the lamb brains were just there for substance and sort of consistency reasons rather than flavor because it didn't have any.
Yeah, I've seen some foods out there that they're just like that don't look right.
I mean, it was the same with snails. The snails that I had in France didn't taste like anything. There was so much garlic sauce on them that they tasted like garlic. Like,
Escargot.
yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't have them again because they didn't taste like anything. But hey, I tried them once, and now I know.
Oh no, it's like escargot or the haggis. Well, haggis is banned here, so it's like
Mhm.
unless I go to Germany or something like that. It's like, well, where is haggis from? Shit.
Scotland.
Yeah, Scotland. Unless I go to Scotland, there is no way gonna be able to try that. And then there's that what is that cheese with the freaking maggots in it? And like
Don't know.
what is that place from? Like it's some kind of.
Yeah, man,
'Cause I
cheese
remember,
is where you lose me because I
Katsu Marzu.
what?
Cheese with maggots.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah, and it's actually what I'm saying from France and Italy. Like I'm like, how? Why?
yeah, man. Usually for me, it's an issue of like smell or like a consistency with foods. If it smells bad, I automatically think it's going to taste bad.
Like I ruined
Stinky
holiday
cheese ain't for
dinner.
me.
Yeah, that and that what is it? It's got a fucked up name. It's that fish, that funky fish. Uh, shit, what the is that
Sturgeon?
damn? No. It's a Sustroming. That stuff right there. I'm like, what? I'm saying, I don't think that's even really edible. I think that's a joke. It's some kind of fermented fish that a lot of people have tried to eat, and yeah. I'll be looking at the expression on their face. They say as soon as you crack the can open, they say the smell hits you so bad that you're almost about to gag right then and there. So I can just imagine what that tastes like.
That doesn't look, that looks like an ear.
I don't know, man. I think there's some foods that people just made on a dare.
Well, plus it's in a can, so it really
What the heck?
Ooh.
that is
The heck is that?
that's the strumming.
That's the oh yeah, that's what they said. Like they said, as soon as you pop it open, it's just like oh, that's what I'm saying. I'm like that's got to be some joke food. Like haha, I got you. So that there
like
is no
Polly's
way in
piss
hell
bags.
that's edible. No,
Yeah.
sardines don't even look like that.
Yeah, that looked pretty revolting. So that's fermented herring is what that surströmming is.
That's some fermented bullshit.
Well, let's see. My other question, Pat, can you do a white voice?
You know what?
Can you do a white voice?
I've never really tried to.
Because yeah, looking up, I was trying to look up who did that joke. I think it was Chappelle, and he was
Okay.
talking about. And so they brought up the movie "Sorry to Bother You."
Oh, I've been wanting to see that one.
I don't know.
So
It's like when black people do white voice and stuff like that. I don't know. We usually get like that, like, oh my God, what are you doing there, Bill? It's like, we always usually get that sounding right there.
that's
Like how Eddie Murphy did on Raw and stuff like that. What?
Yeah.
Michael's a special kind of guy.
All right. I think you found your next sound clip there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's there's an article when black performers use their white voice and they go into the movie, and then yeah, just let's see. In doing so, Mr. Riley offers a zany twist on the performance of whiteness by black actors.
Mm.
In a tradition stretching back hundreds of years, as long as the New World, enslaved and free blacks participated in dramatized communal appropriation of white identified gestures, vocabulary, dialects, dress, or social entitlements. As Marvin writes in his book, Whiting Up White-Faced Minstrels and Stage Europeans in African American Performance. See, they did it too. It wasn't just white people who did it.
Yeah, what are they?
Now, I had forgot about the title of that movie. I've actually been. I want to check that out. That Sorry to Bother You, because that looks like it'd be pretty funny actually. Danny Glover just leaned over the dude. Use your white voice, huh?
Oh yeah, the
They're
one
in the
that came
call
out.
center.
Yeah, they call.
Because I worked in a call center for a time, outbound call center, trying to sell credit cards, and it was pretty funny, sitting there trying to. You're just going in cold, just a computer just pulls up a name and dials a number for you, and there's no like pronunciation guide or anything like that. So you're really just kind of hoping you say some of these names right.
Yeah.
Like I learned how one of the Asian countries they spell win really weird. Is it NY, however else it goes.
Mm.
And so I was sitting there just trying to pronounce it, phonetically.
Oh, Nian.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that dude got so pissed off. He's like, "Well, first of all, my name's Win." I was like, "All right,
Mm-hmm.
sorry."
Just tell me your first name so we can just get on with this.
It's like I'm just gonna go ahead and put you down as a no, sir. How about that? I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Now, I'm saying there are a lot of jobs out there, like I said, that are dangerous, but it's like that. I'm saying that's got to be like the worst job to ever have, right there, man. Being like a telemarketer.
Oh yeah, because being here in Oklahoma, I would get started in the afternoon, and you would start calling East Coast, and you would just roll over each time zone. So you always ended up hitting them right at dinner time and getting them, they just got home from work. They're trying to get something to eat. They're stressed. They don't want to deal with your bullshit. And it was a little soul crushing because the only people I found on a regular basis that would stay on the phone and not hang up, and eventually would go ahead and make the sale for you, elderly people and housewives.
Yeah. I got the same.
Because they just didn't have anyone to talk to. You give them 30 minutes of your time, they'll sign they'll sign up for whatever you want. And it was sad.
I used to do surveys over the phone, and yeah, I got the same thing. It was old people and housewives that were the only ones who wanted to actually sit there answering questions about politics. Though it was quite funny. One time, we were in the middle of bushfire season, and the suburb that they had us call was currently on fire.
Oh God.
And so people typically had very little interest in discussing politics while things around them were burning down to the ground. I'm not sure why.
Maybe you could transplant some of those folks over to California, and they could let it rub off on everyone else over there. Because shit burns down at least once a year in California.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have actual bushfire season. Like summer, there will be bushfires, guaranteed, no questions asked. Something will catch on fire. And yeah, we just happened to be. I think they must have been just randomly selected suburbs, and we got one that was currently on fire. And yeah, people are like, "No, I don't have time for this. Sorry, bye."
It took years for me to get somebody to call me up to ask me survey questions.
Mm.
And it was funny because it was the University of Oklahoma. They had some health survey they were doing about tobacco use in the state.
Yeah.
And so they call up the house, and it's back when I still had a landline. I pick it up and hey, what do you want? Yeah. We're from the University of Oklahoma. We're wanting to survey about tobacco use. Would you be willing to participate? I'm smoking a cigarette right now. What the fuck? Why not? What do you want to know? Yeah. But that was pretty funny because they're asking scale of because it's always some random ass scale of how likely are you to quit? Are you highly likely, somewhat likely? Yeah. Like, lady, I literally just lit a cigarette while you were in the middle of asking that question. What do you think?
There was one guy at the survey place that I really felt sorry for because he was the son of one of the people we were asking the questions about. It was like, what do you think about this politician? And he was his son. So he's got to sit there listening to people go, oh, that fucking prick. Oh, I can't stand that.
Oh, God. That poor kid.
Yeah. It was like, because that was fairly routine. That sometimes they say, oh, don't give a shit. But a lot of the time, you think, oh, that fucking prick. And he'd have to sit there and record the answers of them Just absolutely ripping his father to shreds.
Well, like the call center I worked in, there was one guy that I really pitied, but it had, it's not like he had anything to do with like a credit card executive or anything like that. He was just really, really bad at the job.
Oh, okay.
And the way it worked, it was almost like boiler room. You just had these little cubicles, and you had your computer and your headset to call people on. And on one wall, they just had these giant whiteboards where they kept track of everyone's numbers.
Right.
And if you didn't, you got an hourly wage, and you also got commission.
Right.
So, I actually did fairly well with the commissions. I was in high school when I was doing this. This was like my senior year of high school.
Okay.
So it's not like you had to have experience or anything like that. They would take anybody if you could get through the onboarding process. You had a job.
Yeah.
But this guy, I think he was late teens, early 20s, college kid, and he just, for the life of him, he couldn't get anybody to say yes. And if you can't make any sales, they fire you because they don't want to keep paying you an hourly wage.
For no benefit, yeah.
But so like I would just sit there and you had whenever you would make a sale, they had a little bell you would ding, and you would ding the bell, and you would raise your hand, and one of the supervisors would see who had their hand raised, and they'd mark on the board that, oh yeah, you got another one. And I thought it was just a joke, really. I didn't take it seriously until I started getting all the elderly people and the housewives on a regular basis saying yes. And because you'd have men for the most part saying like, I already got a credit card, I don't need another one, take me off your list, or they just be like, fuck off, click.
Yeah.
I would try to entertain myself because you don't want to sit there for 8 hours a day just hearing no, click, fuck you, click, So that's when I would break out my impressions, which I'm not a very good impressionist. I've only got like a couple. But my favorite one to do was Mitch Hedberg, because you just just sitting there calling people in Washington State or Hawaii, and all of a sudden you just hello, my name is so and so from Discover Card. I just want to let you know you're eligible to apply for the Platinum Card. It's like, who is this stoner, and why is he trying to get me to sign up for a credit card? My favorite one was doing a Bill Clinton. Getting there towards the end of the night. You just really don't give a fuck. And they'd always ask people to stay. Hey, would you want to stay an extra hour and call Hawaii? Why? So I can have them say aloha? Fuck you.
Aloha, fuck you, mahalo. Click.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I got somebody. I want to say, I can't remember if it was the Big Island, because they kind of give you a general idea of like what state, what area you're calling in the state. And I just they answered, and it was this fairly young sounding dude, and I just broke into my Bill Clinton, and I don't know if I could do it right now because hold on one second. But I just hello. I know I can't get it. I can't get it going right now. Have to practice a little bit. But yeah, I just started doing a Bill Clinton impression, and this guy, I'm pretty sure he was smoking weed because he was just enthralled. Like he legit thought that Bill Clinton was trying to get him to sign up for a Discover Card.
I ain't got much to do since I been impeached.
Well, Hillary, she's in the Senate, and that gives me a lot of free time. So I figured I'd get a little extra income.
Nice.
Oh man.
I think the Bill Clinton accent, that impression, even after the man's dead, it's still going to be going.
Probably.
I mean, just remember when Pat? You remember in the '90s when everyone was like, "Yeah, this is as close as we're going to get to a black president. Yeah, let's vote for him."
Oh yeah, Bill. Yeah, because I remember Cedric and Entertainer talking about on King's Comedy, talking about well, we ain't gonna see a black president. We got Clinton that was close enough.
Yeah.
He had some Negro tendencies.
But oh man, what else we got going on here on the Twitters?
Yeah, and I'm over here looking on like that. between my Twitter, it's like a whole lot of stuff popping up between politics and porno.
Yeah.
Well, I was trying to think of how offensive it would be to start the Council of Black YouTubers.
Oh, speaking of blackface. Vincent Veritas, he just posted a picture. He said, "Who wore it better, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel?" And he's showing both of them in blackface. I remember the Jimmy Kimmel one. That's from the Man Show. I don't remember the Jimmy Fallon one. That must have been like an old Saturday Night Live or something. Because Jimmy Kimmel, he dressed up in blackface to be Karl Malone.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's one of the only Man Show clips I remember. That and Man Ponds.
No,
I remember those two distinctly.
The one I always remember is put an end to women's suffrage and trying to get people to sign the petition. And a lot of women did because they don't know what suffrage means.
That's where Monkey got the repeal the 19th. Okay.
Well, it's been around for a while. I don't know if the Man Show was the first, but I've seen a lot of people do that where they'll set up a thing, say, put an end to women's suffrage, and then women will sign it thinking that suffrage and suffering are the same thing.
We're definitely getting dumber as a species, aren't we?
Strictly speaking, no, but I can understand why it feels that way. I believe the average intelligence is actually going up, but with social media, we can see far more of the stupid people than we could previously.
Or is it just there's easier access to dumb?
Yeah, that's it. That's all it is. The average intelligence, from what I've heard, has actually been going up. So we're getting smarter as a species. It's just that we can see far more of the stupid people through social media than we were previously able to. So it feels like we're getting dumber.
Let's see.
It kind of makes sense that our quality of education and technology has only gotten better. So it makes sense that we'd be better able to educate kids. So we're generally smarter than previous generations.
Yeah.
I mean, in some ways, yes. In some ways, no. Like, you remember when you actually had to remember people's phone numbers?
Yeah.
I barely remember mine at this point.
I still have to get out my phone and look at what my mobile number is in order to give it to someone. I couldn't tell you what my mobile number is.
The first thing I do is hammer my number into my head.
Yeah, like the only phone numbers aside from mine that I remember are from like the family members who still have landlines from before cell phones. Like my dad and my grandmother have both had the same phone numbers all my life. So like I remember those just automatically. If you ask me to tell you, to like just rattle off, I don't even know my girlfriend's phone number. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. But you don't need to.
We've been together for 4 years.
That shit's on speed dial.
Exactly. Like I just go to my contacts and hey, girlfriend, click, call.
Yeah.
I can tell you the area code of her phone number. I can't tell you.
I mean, I couldn't tell you anyone's phone number, not even mine, because
it was hard back then.
that's why phone directories were a thing, so you could look it up when you inevitably forgot.
Yeah, that or that notepad on the refrigerator.
Yeah, that too.
Well, what I think is hilarious because for me, I'm a millennial, but I'm in like the middle of the millennial generation. It's kind of like that dividing line between the first half and the second half. And I think it's hilarious. So much of what I know seems to be antiquated and everything for even people in my generation, like people around my age. A lot of them don't know how to drive a manual transmission vehicle.
I can't drive any vehicle. I never actually learnt.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't even go outside, so that's not really an issue.
This is true. The fact remains that
I mean, not all the restaurants around here deliver, Terry. I got to go outside every now and then if I want to eat.
Well, you need to move then. Yeah. I never had a need for a license. There's always been a train station in walking distance, so anywhere I need to go, I can just catch a train.
Wasn't Scribe saying he doesn't have one either?
Yeah.
Yeah, he walks to work.
But I think he has or had a license. He just doesn't drive at the moment. I never actually learned at all.
Well, I mean, I imagine if I lived in a large metropolitan area where there was public transport readily available, I probably wouldn't either. But at the same time, I actually do enjoy driving. But in an automatic, it's not as fun.
It's lazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're driving around in town with a manual, you gotta focus on what gear you're in, upshift, downshift, and then pay attention to all the idiots around you on the road. On top of that, it's interesting. And also, I mean, these days, since hardly anyone drives a manual anymore, they can't steal that shit. If you can't drive it, you can't steal it. So, I mean, my vehicle is theft proof at this point.
Well, that's creative thinking. Get a manual car so no one can steal it.
Yeah, because I remember seeing some video of a kid trying to steal this dude's, is it a Porsche or Corvette, something like that? Some sports car, and it had a manual transmission, and this kid couldn't even get it out of like first gear. And so the dude is like chasing after him, going like 4 miles an hour, like, give me my car back. Like, don't be scratching my vet. Another thing I miss is rotary phones.
I remember those. I used to like the sound it made as it sort of ticked back around after you dialed a number.
Right? Yeah. Nowadays, I just want to see like a teenager's trying to figure out how to make a phone call on one of those. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah, I used to have one of those up until it broke. I think it was. Let's see. When I first moved to the town I grew up in, I was 5, and I kept it until think it was 2 years before I graduated when the thing went out in it. So there's like from 86 to 97.
Yeah, my dad he had a rotary. Him and his wife had a rotary phone when I was a small child, and I found out apparently those are not the ideal phone to have if you have anger issues. They break very easily.
Well, that's how you know you have anger issues. You hang it up and you hear that ching.
Well, I think it was Seinfeld was saying that that's why he hated cordless and mobile phones is you can't slam the phone down when you hang up on someone. You got to say, "I'm hanging up on you," beep 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 beep, and sort of thing. Just pushing the hang up button instead of just the satisfying clang of slamming the receiver down.
Oh, that's kind of a similar Mitch Hedberg joke. I think was talking about you can't have a fight when you're camping. And what are you gonna
Okay.
do? You know, you can't slam a door. You're gonna do like zipper up the tent really quickly.
Yeah. Mitch was pretty funny. I did like his stuff. He was good.
Yeah, we're losing that age of comedy. It seems like.
Wow, he died 2005.
Yeah,
Like,
heroin, man. It'll catch you eventually.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, I knew that's how he died, but it's just sort of how has it been that long? Like it's crazy to think it's what 14 years.
I remember going up to the state university, Oklahoma State, and visiting some friends up there in the dorms, and somebody had posted in one of the bathrooms a whole bunch of Mitch Hedberg jokes in like each of the stalls because it was it was like right after he died.
Hmm.
So like yeah, they just plastered a whole bunch of his jokes everywhere in this bathroom.
And the other one is, can you believe it's been more than 20 years since Phil Hartman died? Like that just has flown by. That's crazy that it's been 21 years.
Yeah, that's another thing we can blame on Andy Dick or
Yeah.
Kathy Griffin.
Wait, did Andy Dick introduce Phil Hartman to his wife?
Andy Dick introduced the cocaine that she used to kill Phil Hartman.
Yeah,
Well, it
and
was cocaine and Zoloft, wasn't it? Like they
Yeah.
actually had to pay out to
but
his
what
kids.
it was, I think, is Andy Dick. His wife was trying to go clean, and his wife, Andy Dick, got his wife back on the drugs that led to her freaking out and killing him. I think that's how Andy Dick was directed.
That's what I heard.
How many bodies does Andy Dick have like on his belt? What was that dude? Was it from Suddenly Susan or whatever?
Yeah,
Was
and he
it-
got his ass kicked by John Lovitz.
Yes.
David Strickland.
Yeah, yeah. He ended up hanging himself because he was partying with Andy Dick all the time. My mom blames Andy Dick for that dude's death. She loved that dude. She
Yeah,
thought he was hilarious. But yeah, man, like he got a lot of bodies, man.
Mm.
I'm starting to think that Andy Dick might be like a secret Clinton. Like a second cousin twice removed or some shit.
Yeah. I love Phil Hartman.
yeah, he was one of my favorites when
Mm.
when all that happened. I used to really like news radio, and it was just never the same when John Lovitz tried to take over his role. Well, it was a different role, but
Yeah.
fill that
Yeah.
spot in the cast.
Yeah, when you lose a cast member and then one just happens to turn up, you know that's a substitute. Like
Yeah.
they're just swapping that out.
Well, I don't know if you guys ever watched that show, 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter. That was John Ritter's last role.
Yeah, that was.
I think I did watch bits and pieces of it. It's
Yes.
familiar.
They
Well,
swapped out John Ritter for David Spade.
No, David Spade? No, they had it was a James Caan. He was like the grandfather. He came in for a while.
Oh yeah. No, but as soon as because James Caan made a couple cameos, but then I think it was shortly after he passed, they brought in David Spade and made James Caan more of a regular.
Ah, see, I was watching that show. I had a set of rabbit ears. I was living on my own as a 17-year-old, and I only got like 3 channels. One of them being the WB, and that was one of the few shows I could actually watch. It's like I remember it was that, Sex and the City reruns, and there's like Cops. I think that's about the only 3 shows I could watch while I was living up there.
And of those shows, Cops is the one that's still going.
Yeah. But like that's how I found out like John Ritter died, was because like I think that show was still like shooting, still new, and like one week he was there and the next week he wasn't.
But one thing I do have to respect The Simpsons for was that they didn't even try to replace Phil Hartman. They just said, okay, these characters are off the show.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of did, but they wrote him off, but they did it in a really clever way.
Okay, because they didn't get new voice actors to play the same characters, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because that would have, it wouldn't have sat well with a lot of people. Suddenly having Lionel Hutz sound like someone else.
Well, I mean, they in Futurama, they had Billy West doing an impression, pretty much, of Phil Hartman.
For Zach
Brannigan, yeah.
I actually thought that was Phil Hartman. Like the first time I saw Futurama, I didn't know like the timeline of when it was made. But this must have been one of Phil Hartman's last things before he got killed. And then I was like, oh no, it was Billy West doing the impersonation. Like, okay.
Because it was supposed to be part Phil Hartman, part Shatner.
Okay, because it definitely came across as a Phil Hartman style performance. Like I assumed that it was Phil Hartman doing it, and I actually had to check the credits to see. Oh wow, Phil Hartman did this voice. It's a good impersonation. I'll give it to Billy West.
He's really good at impersonations. There are a lot of people who are also really good at Benedict Cumberbatch does really good impressions.
Okay.
Kevin Spacey was really good at impressions too.
Yeah.
Before everyone found out he was a dick grabber extraordinaire.
Teenage dick grabber extraordinaire.
But like he did Inside the Actor's Studio, and he rattled off like 4 or 5 impressions that were just hilarious. Like Al Pacino, Jack Lemmon. I think he did Katharine Hepburn too.
Fair enough.
Oh, what was that other one? Oh shit, I can't remember his name. John something. I think he's an English actor known for his elocution.
Okay.
His diction.
It's the guy who does Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. He still remembers like all the songs that he sang for Animaniacs.
Oh yeah.
So he still like sings them on request. Like the all the countries of the world and all the US capitals. He still remembers them all. And
Maurice LaMarche.
no, that was Brain. It was
Oh, Pinky.
yeah.
Oh,
Rob
Litchfield.
Rob Paulson. That's it.
Paulson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he does the voice thing on I seen on Facebook where they have like Mark Hamill doing the voice of the Joker,
Okay.
and they were doing that like reading Wizard of Oz like scripts.
Okay. Because I did see Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche. They did what's it called? One of the Dr. Zeus books, Green Eggs and Ham. That's what it was, and they had Pinky trying to convince the Brain to try the green eggs and ham, and that was quite funny. Something as simple as that is just the way they were doing it was very very funny.
I saw him at the Emerald City Comic Con a couple years ago.
Oh,
and
pissed me off.
Oh, what's up?
Sorry, I was scrolling through Twitter and some local news popped up. The Daily Oklahoman is one of the two main newspapers in the state. It gets statewide distribution, and they posted this article about anti-smoking report shows progress, problems in Oklahoma. Oklahoma has made some progress towards reducing smoking, but still has a long way to go, according to a new report from the American Lung Association. The annual State of Tobacco Control report graded states on 5 aspects of policy: how much they spent on anti-tobacco programs, their indoor smoking laws, the amount of tax charged for tobacco products, the age when they allow youth to purchase tobacco, and how difficult they make it to access help quitting smoking. Oklahoma got a B for access for helping quitting and an F because it allows youth to purchase tobacco at age 18. The rest of its grades were D's. It's like, wait, they get an F because they allow people to purchase tobacco when they're adults?
How dare they?
About 1 in 5 adult Oklahomans and 1 in 8 high school students smoke, which is actually down from when I was younger because it used to be 1 in 4. Maybe that's the total tobacco use, counting like dip and chew and everything else.
You know, do you remember taking those polls in high school where they're like, "How often do you smoke marijuana? How often do you do this?"
I honestly don't remember any polls like that when I was in high school. But then again, I could have been just too high to remember.
Well, I know that we filled it out, but like I know a majority of kids lied on those forms.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because they're not telling us that we're being used as actual statistics for these politicians.
Lying, saying that they did smoke more or smoke less.
Oh, they're saying like 8 times a week or 8 times a day. On a scale from 1 to 10, how often do you smoke weed? 10. Like,
well, no. The part that got me about this article, because I was just scrolling through it and reading while you guys were talking, is a Joanne Strother, advocacy director for the Lung Association's West region, said one of the biggest changes Oklahoma could make to improve its grades would be to remove exemptions to its indoor smoking ban, such as allowing customers in bars and tribal casinos to smoke. I have a major issue with this, and it goes back to my good friend Ed Byrne, who has me blocked on Twitter. He had a joke about not allowing smoking in bars, and I wholeheartedly agree with him. Separating tobacco and alcohol, that goes against God's will. Okay, I can't drink if I can't smoke. So you're not getting me to quit smoking cigarettes. You're just getting me to quit buying alcohol.
I never really got into weed or alcohol. I used to drink because I thought it was sort of like
Oh,
socially expected.
yeah.
But once I realized that I didn't give a shit about the people who expected me to drink, I stopped. 'Cause I don't like it at all.
Well, I mean that. Jim Jeffries said it best. No one likes it. They do it because they have to.
Yeah, well,
No one likes the taste of alcohol.
once I realized I didn't have to, I stopped. On the,
But yeah, this is the idea that, and then you want to try and ban smoking in tribal casinos. Good luck with that, lady. I mean, if it wasn't for booze and tobacco, there wouldn't be hardly anybody in those joints.
this is true. And did you say joints on purpose?
But yeah, they've raised the taxes on cigarettes a few times in the past year here in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting to the point where I'm almost considering like just saving up a bit of money and just driving up to Missouri and bootlegging cigarettes back down here.
Well, I think that's the problem when they think, oh, if you raise the taxes, then people will stop. No, they'll do what you just said. They'll go somewhere else and buy them.
Go somewhere else and buy them. Huh?
Well, I mean, the big reason, they try and pass it off that oh, this is about health. We're concerned about your health. It's like, no, you fuckers can't balance a budget to save your lives, and this is the only demographic that you can make squeal with a tax raise that no one's going to listen to. Those sin taxes. That's what gets me.
Yeah. I just looked it up because I don't smoke, but apparently one packet of cigarettes is $30 in Australia.
Well, I think the highest average pack of cigarettes is in New York. I think specifically New York City. It's like $11 to $13 a pack, and then the lowest state tax wise is Missouri, which just north of us, and that's because they keep voting down the tax increases. But at the same time, like Oklahoma, we've got some fishy politics, man. Like they brought in the lottery to originally it was supposed to supplement the education budget. That's how they sold it to us. It's like, well, people are going to gamble whether we want to have it or not. They'll just go to Texas, they'll go to Arkansas, they'll go to Missouri. Why should they get those that money? Why shouldn't we be able to spend it here? Put it towards education. It's like, yeah, and as soon as it passed, they gutted the education budget and they just hung it solely on pretty much the lottery. And it's just something that's like, okay, so you're banking on gambling addicts to fund our state's education. You're a bunch of morons, ain't you? But it's the same thing with with the cigarettes. It's like because I would ask people when they come in, they start bitching about oh man, the cigarettes are expensive here. I was like, yeah. Like, what do you think would happen if everyone in the state quit smoking for like a month?
Gosh.
I mean, like if just everyone just white knuckles it for 30 days and the state doesn't get any revenue from tobacco sales.
I think they would be delighted. It's all about public health after all.
They'd be scrambling to find something else to tax to make up that money. That's what they'd be doing.
Yes.
And they'd be scrambling to try and find a justification for taxing that new whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not nearly as easy as like, oh, well, we don't want you to get cancer from secondhand smoke.
Well, they move on to the legal weed, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We've
find
got
something.
medical now, which I think that's hilarious. I told Johnny I had this one customer come into my store last week, and he's got his medical card. And the first time, like he I guess got it, he was showing it off like he was a cop with a badge, almost. Like, hey man, you want to see the coolest thing you ever seen in your life? And he reaches into his coat pocket and just pulls it out and just put it right in my face. I was like, cool, good for you. I've seen vagina. That's way cooler in my book than a card that lets me do something I'm already doing. But he came in the other night and he went to buy something behind the counter from me. And I ring him up, cash him out, and then he's got this pack of cigarettes that he puts on the counter. He reaches into it, he pulls one out and hands it to me. And at first I'm thinking it's just like a regular menthol like I smoke. And I was like, oh man, cool, thanks, I appreciate it. And he goes and leaves. And on my next break, I'm thinking like, oh well, I'll try out this new cigarette. And I go to walk outside with it. And I take my first real look at it because I had other customers after this dude, so I didn't stop and give it any attention. I look at the cigarette. It's got a pot leaf on it. I'm like, oh shit, did this dude just give me a weed cigarette at work? Come to find out, no, he didn't. He gave me a hemp cigarette, which is by far the shittiest cigarette I've ever smoked in my life.
Isn't that pretty much like dry weed, pretty much?
We got some new folks in the chat.
Yeah, I'm Sid's in, and the legendary Blue Gamer, who just subbed. Thanks for the sub. And he wants in, but he needs to tell me if he's got Twitter so I can get him a link. And yeah, we're getting about 2.5. I think we're 2.5 hours in.
Just real quick before we hop out of here, man. R.A. Prostate said that my avatar looked like a dick. Now I got someone saying it looks like a pussy. I can't win for losing, man. Like, I didn't draw this shit.
Well, if you just take the thing, and it looks like you have ovaries as a nose. So I mean, it's the ultimate feminist symbol. Smoking ovaries.
I was just trying to be a little patriotic and brand loyal. That's all. I do enjoy Camel cigarettes. I wish they would sponsor me. Actually, I'm tired of buying.
I was going to say, since we're getting pretty close to closing time, I was wondering if you guys wanted to test out these games.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was going to be like why we were streaming. So.
Well, it was sort of like a let's start the conversation and then kind of work into it, and then the conversation took
over.
I mean, I don't care. It was a good conversation. I'm just saying, I thought that's why we were streaming. So.
Oh, don't let Johnny fool you, Terry. We honeydicked you with video games. We pulled the bait and switch, man.
It's a trap. You said there be games. Yeah, speaking of games, like I said, with the Resident Evil 2 remake, I'm saying getting a very good positive review. And now they're talking about Mortal Kombat 11. Like, man.
Scribe had really good ideas for Shaggy's fatalities on that.
Oh, that wasn't a joke?
No, there's a petition to actually get Shaggy on there.
That's cute.
See, I thought that was a joke, man. I can't. Wow.
One thing because I haven't been following the coverage, I hope they keep the thing where there's 3 variants of each character. Because I did quite like that in 10, where like if you pick Sub-Zero, there's 3 different variants of Sub-Zero with very slightly altered moves.
See,
I don't
those are
know.
some of the games I'll have to get when I get my console gaming set back up. Is a Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Yeah. But I kind of gave up on the whole console thing because any game that comes out usually also comes out on PC. So if I have a PC, I'm covered for everything.
I don't know. I never could. I never could get into PC gaming. Plus, I feel like you got to be more dedicated on PC. Like and me, I got a job, I got kids and stuff like that. And so I got to be. I'm very recreational. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
Um, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with playing on a console. I'm just saying that for me, there was no point because any game I wanted to play would also be on the PC. So it's just like,
mhm.
oh, if I get one, then I'm covered for pretty much every important game that comes out.
You see, I'm debating on whether or not I want to actually get a console or if I would just want to get another computer strictly for gaming.
Um, the only console that I actually went out and bought was a Switch, and that's because obviously Mario games are not going to be on anything other than Nintendo systems.
Yeah.
So that I can understand getting a Switch or whatever Nintendo consoles you may be interested in, but otherwise there's too much overlap with PC for it to make sense for me. And apparently, PC gamers tend to be elitists. And I do think the PC is by far the better um, gaming system, but I mean, consoles have their place. Like you said, they're a lot more plug and play. Sort of, if you just want to play for fun rather than as a serious hobby, then
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, you don't want to deal with setting up a PC and all that sort of stuff. Just
Oh yeah.
grab a PlayStation or an Xbox and put the game in and start playing. That's
Well, I moved over to PC mostly because I had a PlayStation 2 and that thing lasted me nearly a decade.
yeah,
It was great.
it was
I had a PS3. It only lasted me a few like 3 years,
something like that. Yeah,
and I was pissed. And so when that thing broke down, I was already getting a computer for you know YouTube and all that stuff, entertainment wise. It's like, well, screw it. I'll just play video games on the computer.
yeah.
And the only thing of it is that a lot of the games I like to play, like sports games and stuff like that, I can't really play NBA 2K with a keyboard and mouse.
Well, it's not very hard to just get a controller that works with a PC.
True.
But
Yeah.
the one thing I would say as a big selling point for consoles is if you're going to do multiplayer games, there's probably a bigger audience. There's going to be more people playing, NBA 2K on PlayStation than on PC. So if you want to play against other people, there's definitely a solid case for getting the console version.
That was my only hang up is, I want to be able to play, and also like one of my favorite video games they no longer make anymore, and that was college football.
Okay.
I loved NCAA college football.
NCAA.
Oh yeah. That's the only way my Cowboys are ever going to win a national championship. But you had infinite replay value with that. You had hundreds of teams you could play with. And the later games you could switch conferences, all this stuff. So I loved playing, and I would always end up playing against the computer because playing online, I would get people rage quitting me all the time.
Oh
Yeah, that happens a lot.
There was one dude, he rage quit and he was winning the game.
That's happened to me. The only multiplayer game I've ever really gotten into was Pokemon Showdown. I've had people quit when they were winning, and it's like, what the hell are you? Okay, I'll take the win, but why?
No, what happened was what year was that? Was that college football? I think 2011. 2011, I think is what it was.
Hmm.
My Cowboys started off that season ranked in the top 10.
Okay.
They went on to win the Fiesta Bowl that year. They beat Stanford. Only had one loss on the season. Won the Big 12 championship. It was every Cowboys fan's dream almost. Beat OU, all of it, and so they were ranked, number 7 starting out in that season. Alabama was ranked number 1, and a lot of folks like to play as Bama, because they had top rated defense and really good offense. I was playing against this dude, and I was down a touchdown going into like the last 2 minutes of the game.
Mm.
I got an interception, and that dude quit.
The fuck?
Yeah, I mean, he was, it was a back and forth game. He was leading pretty much the whole game. I think I might have scored like the first touchdown, and then he marched down the field, tied it up, and ended up taking a lead in the second half. But yeah, I get the interception. I've got to go about, I don't know, 50, 60 yards to score and tie it back up. He quit.
What, touchdown or a field goal?
I needed a touchdown to tie it up. Get the 2-point conversion to win, which I was playing for overtime. Because that year there was nobody. You couldn't stop OSU on offense. They had one of the best wide receivers in college football that year, Justin Blackmon. It's like only the second person to win the wide receiver of the year award 2 years in a row. The only other person besides him was Michael Crabtree. But yeah, just back and forth, back and forth. I'm like, oh man, this is a great game. This is going to be one for my profile record books or whatever. And then like a minute 50 to go, I didn't even get to run a play. Just all of a sudden disconnected.
The dude said, "Fuck it."
Another thing I would like to be able to play is like the new UFC games. I'd like to actually play online against people with that one.
I did Mortal Kombat X online, and my record up to now is 0-10.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I am horrible.
Like,
and one of the guys, like I just did like you click on it and you're like, you can do ranked games, or you can just do like where it matches you with someone your skill level of your like win-loss record. And so I went with the one with I need to find at least a noob that I can defeat, like someone's letting their kid play or something like that. Just like I need to win one. And it put me up to this guy, and he was 182-3.
Oh shit.
And he just like, as soon as I picked my character, he just starts laughing. He's like, "Motherfucker, you're dead." Like, and I go, "Well, at least I know that my insurance premiums were paid. Thanks, Obama." And he started laughing, and then that's when I distracted him. I'm just like, "Ha!" And I just went after him as soon as the thing said go.
Yeah.
I was on him, and then he wiped the floor with me.
See, I had the same problem with Fight Night Champions. That's the last like boxing game that EA made before they switched over to make the UFC games. And I ended up getting that game like long after it came out. And so any people that were still playing online, they've been playing forever. So there was no matching me with somebody with a similar skill, ranking. It's like, oh, well, just sit there and wait for the queue. It's like trying to match someone within 2 to 5 levels, 5 to 10 levels, 10 to 20, and I got it to like where it's like I was waiting, and finally like 100 levels ahead of me. It's like, you want to play this guy? Well, I've been sitting here for 5 minutes waiting to play it. Yeah, might as well. And then just barely get out of the first round. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I'll just stick to playing against the computer.
Well, that's like what Blind Press showed that video of that guy that she was fighting against, and he spent the entire second round spamming fireballs.
Well, this ties into something. I believe that if there's something that is working against your opponent, you should keep doing it. It's up to them to find a way to overcome. And like, obviously, it's a different situation with blind because she, is blind, which is, but the person on the other end of the controller doesn't know that. So if throwing fireballs is something that your opponent cannot deal with, you should keep doing it because you're playing to win. You're not playing to make friends with the person. Like, this is assuming playing online.
Yeah.
Not with your friends in the same room. But if you're playing against a stranger, you're playing to win. And if they can't deal with something as simple as spamming fireballs, then spam fireballs. If whatever, anything within the rules that will get you that win, you should do.
Yeah, I can see it, but I don't know. There's just sort of like, it's like a hollow victory for me if I spend the entire time just spamming fireballs.
Well, the thing is, if they're that susceptible to such a simple tactic, it was never going to be a good match anyway. You could have tried something else and still won, but if they're that bad, you had the skill advantage, and it was going to be a cakewalk anyway. If they can't deal with something that simple and straightforward. Like I said, it's different if it's your friends in the same room and you want to have fun. You don't want to just mercilessly destroy. But if it's a stranger and you're, in the ranked match section of the game, do what gets you the win.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if I had a character who was throwing fireballs and they were spamming fireballs, I'm going to start returning fire. That's for sure.
Go. I mean, most games, when you throw a fireball, there's a recovery period of like half a second. And that is the built-in balance to fireballs to stop spamming from being, impossible to deal with. So it may be difficult for a newcomer, but getting past that fireball spam is a skill that you need to develop to get good at the game. But yeah.
All right, so does anyone have any suggestions on where to start? Because I got all 5 packs now.
Well, we've got 4, so we can play. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to run in a few minutes because I got to run some errands real quick.
Okay, no worries. Well, if it's going to be the 3 of us, then I'd say we should probably do that bomb game again because most Jackbox games kind of fall apart with not enough people.
Either the bomb or the fibbage.
Yeah, fibbage works as well. We can do that.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what these other ones are.
Do we have?
Yeah, I've got the whole 5 pack, so we can very much. Oh, that is loud, huh?
To address Sid, yes, really, it is supposed to be fun, but that's why you have casual. Like most video games have casual matches and ranked matches. When you want to play for fun, play a casual match. When you're playing to win, play ranked.
Winning is fun.
Yeah, and winning is fun, but
I guess it just depends on through my standard. It's the way I see it. It is cheap, but the way that guy's going to see it, he's not playing he's playing to get that win.
yeah.
Hey, man, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, see, the whole thing is I don't think there's any such thing as cheap. If a move is effective, you should use it and use it a lot. And it is up to the opponent to find a way to deal with your effective move, presumably with effective moves of their own. I mean, and if there is literally no way to overcome something, then that is a bad game and you should play something else.
Fuck yeah!
3 to 7, 3 to 16, 3 to 8, 2 to 8. Oh, I suppose
I'm here. I'm gay. I'm open. Who is the other guy?
I gotta say, like that was really funny. Like when you first played that in the last stream, like I'm just like I've never like just to say the word. I was definitely triggered.
Like I didn't even send the link to this motherfucker. How did Goop get in here?
That's exactly it. I'm like, wait a minute. No one told me anything about him in here. Like, so let's see.
Oh, I need to
see
open
that?
up the. I need to open up the page. Jackbox.tv, right?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
So I'm gonna minimize this for now.
I have to minimize all my different tabs because I'm a peasant with one screen.
So Fibbage and then Fibbage enough about you.
We can do either. Enough about you is probably better. The one thing that I do like is in the normal Fibbage, if you make a typo, everyone knows that's the wrong answer.
Mm.
Whereas in Fibbage, they don't know if because we're entering our own truths. Maybe I made a typo when I wrote my answer, so you can't just automatically dismiss anything that's misspelled.
Well, you can pretty much do that anyway. Like if you know how to spell it.
No, but like let's say like, the thing is, who do I like more than anyone else? And I put my cousin. I might be the one who misspelt cousin rather than like one of the people lying. So you can't say.
Oh, I see.
Because enough about you will ask not intimate but personal questions. So it'll be like, "What's your favorite food?" And then you might spell spaghetti incorrectly. It doesn't mean you can automatically dismiss anything that's spelt wrong.
Oh,
Whereas in Fibbage, the truth will always be spelt correctly because they went through an editing team when they made the game and they made sure that everything was spelt correctly.
Well, I got you. So should we just stick with 3?
Yeah.
I need a room code.
LVOQ.
LVOQ. Okay.
Saying invalid room code. Oh, LV. Okay.
Yeah, it's on the screen, so you can just get it off there.
I was just listening to what Johnny said, and it sounded like it said OV.
Yeah, I made the same mistake. And then I saw it was on the screen. So I was like, okay, I'll just put it in from there.
Yeah, we may have other people joining in. I have some outside folks
All right, cool.
watching.
Did you do your usual send links to like celebrities? So we might end up with, James Woods swinging by to play a round of Quiplash.
No, I didn't send anyone anything on Twitter. It was just my girlfriend and her kids.
Okay.
Although I should.
Yeah, I mean, it's always funny. Just, this might be the time that Joe Rogan has nothing better to do. And so he decides to jump into our Quiplash Fibbage game.
Well, he's got to get Jack's balls out of his mouth first.
I was gonna say after watching that Dorsey interview, I'd have some questions for Joe.
I haven't seen it, so I'll have to watch that. But
what I thought was interesting is he didn't disclose during the interview that Jack's actually one of his sponsors for his podcast.
Jesus Christ!
One of the apps that Jack is it Square, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a bit dicey.
Yeah, that's one of the podcast, the Joe Rogan podcast sponsors. Which you don't know that on YouTube because he's got it to where they just go live.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the audio version on iTunes or something like that, it starts off with the commercials at the beginning.
Okay.
Like they used to, they used to do them for like like Fleshlight was their original sponsor.
All right,
So I thought that was hilarious.
Yes, me too.
Is this loud enough for you guys?
Yeah.
I can kind of hear it, but I think that might just be my earbuds.
Oh yeah, the game should be turned up if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah. I turned it down because it's kind of blaring on my end, but
yeah, the game is too quiet for me.
Is there a?
There should be a volume setting somewhere, but it doesn't.
Hey, Johnny, you want to present yourself so that way everyone
Yes,
on the chat can see?
Am I not?
No, there we go.
Okay.
Selected on your device. All right, let's see what you guys picked.
Yeah. Believable enough.
Yeah. Yay! I got it right.
I thought that was camels.
Like, I thought that was either going to be Camel's Lie or the truth, and I was kind of 50-50 on it.
I gotta say, this is running a lot faster on my computer than it was on my laptop.
Yeah, this is running very smoothly. I do agree there.
Here's a question for you. In 2008, Kevin Sue and Jake Bryant ran a successful online campaign that encouraged fellow high school students to write the catchphrase blank in the essay section of their AP exams. Write your lives now.
So they had Adonis Paul exams. That's interesting.
Nah, man, they were frog exams.
Ah.
Oh, I know this is that one.
Okay, what did everyone pick?
Yep, never mind. Oh,
Oh, we
sweet.
all got it right.
I was running 50-50 with May the Force Be With You.
Oh, that was mine. So you should have picked that one instead.
Let's check in with someone who really matters.
I should have known better than to go with an 80s catchphrase.
She had tweeted on August 13th, 2009, that she has a special talent. I can smell when someone has blank.
How do I not come up with something vulgar for this?
Well, that was the first thing. I'm like, please just pull it back.
Hmm.
Okay, let's take a look. And it was
I wouldn't put it past her. Just so you know.
Oh, we both put the same line.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh!
Mr. Calling.
How
I know
close
the-
did that bitch get into someone's face that she can smell cavities?
I love that we both put money.
All right, so I'm not playing Jeopardy with Terry at all. Nice.
Speaking of,
Saving your lives. Hurry, get the live for me, bud. If you can't think. All right, where's the truth?
I'll probably get mine wrong.
All right, let's
I probably am too.
Yeah, that was funny. I'm glad I got that wrong. I think yours was funnier than the truth, so I'm glad I got that wrong.
I actually got it right. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to choose another one.
Check in on chat.
Hey, Dale Hayes, how's it going?
Okay, which one is the truth?
I'm kind of glad Pat's not here for this.
Yeah, that could be a little awkward.
All right, who picked what?
Oh, come on. I take it Campbell's was Afro picks.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Hey, somebody had to invent them.
Someone did.
I mean, the only thing I could think of was soul food. Like,
Let's see what we got. 1 month after publicly denouncing blank, Chicago Alderman Howard Brookins was seriously injured in an accident caused by one. Saving your lives now. Okay, seek the truth.
all right, I'm gonna go with it.
And what did people pick?
Loud children are dangerous.
Oh, seriously?
Aggressive squirrels. I was thinking, how do you denounce squirrels?
I am sucking it up.
The final question is worth the most points, though, so you might still make a comeback.
In 2016, a strange hoax hit several Burger King restaurants. Following instructions from a prank caller, store employees began to blank all the blank. All right, saving your lives.
Man, I miss Burger King.
Oh,
We don't have one in my area anymore.
that sucks.
And I'm pretty sure you don't want to strip search Burger King customers. That's just
Company took out.
I would agree with that. Break all the windows, Jesus.
They were told there was a gas leak, and if they didn't break the window,
Actually, there was a.
if somebody said that about Jackbox, I'd probably just leave.
they actually pulled that at a restaurant up in Shawnee here in Oklahoma.
God, Camel, you're running it today.
Why did they think they had to break the windows? Like, what was...
Because the prank caller told them there was a gas leak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that they needed to break all the windows, otherwise customers, would become incapacitated.
Hellcat was the worst liar and the most gullible. Oof. And no one likes
Later,
Camel.
Hazed. I'll catch you later, bud.
All right, see you later, Dale Haste.
Poor guy, just sitting there on his lunch break. Yeah, man, if this keeps going, like, no one's ever going to believe a word I say ever again. It's like three games in a row.
Yeah, I don't think I got very many of them right on this one.
No. But shall we go again, or do you want to try something else?
Yeah, let's go one more.
All right.
Oh, wrong button. There we go. The same players.
See if I can go for the 4-peat.
This kind of has that throwback to the old game shows.
Yeah.
Yes. A 3-player game. Let's see how quickly you get sick of each other's crap. Oh, the audience at any time. The audience gets to throw extra lies into the mix and guess the truth along with players. Let's do this.
Yeah, this is where you definitely need more people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round 1, where you'll get 500 points for fooling the other players with your lies. And you'll get 1,000 for finding the truth. Okay, big category. First up, in the 1940s, Walt Disney worked with a partner company to design a line of serving Mickey Mouse blank. And your lies.
I don't know how to spell it.
Ooh.
Okay, here are your choices. Let's see what everybody selected.
I did actually know this one. I've heard it before.
It's the gas mask, isn't it?
Yeah.
How to make World War II fun for kids.
Johnny, were you trying to spell lingerie?
Yes.
Was Linguri.
Select the category.
Oh,
How do you not go? Yeah, I was going to say, how do you not go with bad touch?
Only advice given to Game of Thrones actor Amelia Clark by her mother was, don't do drugs, have sex, or touch your blank. Write your lies now.
I've never actually seen Game of Thrones, so I don't know who Amelia Clark is.
Um, you know those memes where they talk about how like white people see themselves when they talk shit about other white people?
Oh, where there's like the whole horde of people sort of praising them.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Amelia Clark.
Okay, good to know.
touche.
Well, I mean, she is British. I mean, surely, you know.
I went for the only not dirty one, and it was obviously the right answer.
Wait, eyebrows was the right answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Category.
That seemed like the most interesting one.
Yeah.
Schizophrenia in their patients. Can remove their blank. Enter your lies now. Okay, here you go. Find the truth. Let's see how things shook out.
Nice one, Johnny.
I figured lobotomies would be the way to go.
How we went with. I was torn between teeth and intestines. They both seemed.
Well, I figured teeth because that seemed to be where everyone paranoid comes in with like
Wow. They try to get rid of their intestines? Holy shit.
Well, dead people tend not to have schizophrenia, so.
True. Oh, I gotta pick another one. Okay, let's try that. Because this is not the greatest song in the world, no.
And yeah, that was what I was thinking when you picked Just a Tribute. That was immediately where my mind went.
Okay, take a look and find the truth. All right, let's see what everybody picked.
Oh, very nice, Terry. Very, very believable.
Yay! Double yay!
Oh.
The saying goes, if life gives you lemons, you're probably dead.
My choices were bricks and small rocks, so I just went with the one that was not those, like the odd one out.
Yeah, mine was bricks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, choose a category.
I figured, saying stones would have been too much of a giveaway that it was.
In 2007, Scotland spent £125,000 on a new tourism campaign. The result was the enticing slogan, blank. All right, type in your lies.
I don't know.
Find the truth.
I like how there's two haggis ones.
Yeah, which means one of those two is right.
It's actually Welcome to Scotland. I've heard Tailed tell this story before.
Oh. Well, I think all three of us came up with better.
But yeah, on I think it was Lords of the Night, Tailed Feature actually told this story about they spent £125,000 and all they came up with is Welcome to Scotland.
See,
Nice.
I came up with one for free that's way better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Metropolitan Museum of Arts. This piece from the Edo period is called Unidentified Actor in a Role of Blank. Type in your lies now. All right, find the truth. Okay, let's take a look.
Nice.
It's too funny not to choose. So we all got it wrong.
It would appear so.
And you all missed it.
Really?
Gotta rub it in there, Jackbox. Come on now.
But Camels was too funny not to choose. I had to go with that.
Well, he looked. I mean, I couldn't quite tell from the hangout window. It looked like he was kind of hunched over. I was like, yeah, that seems about right.
Oh, oh. God, they want to just rub it in. God, I want to, but I can't. I got
Should
nothing.
be interesting.
Sure, why not?
All right, who picked what?
Yeah, I didn't think you.
Oh. Oh.
Sweet.
I'm a little disappointed. Nobody chose my lie.
Oh, I figured landing a rover sounded too obvious, and then the others were obviously false. So
Yeah, Land Rover was mine.
yeah,
Hey, man, eventually somebody's going to clog a toilet in space.
yeah, but
Well, mine was originally going to be get pulled over.
but Land Rover was believable, but it was too believable. Like there was nothing unusual about it. It was like typically these tend to be a bit subversive of your expectations.
I'm saying, man, eventually somebody's going to do it, and it's
It's
gonna
going
be
to
a
happen.
weird. It's gonna be a weird day at NASA when they get that over the radio. Houston, we have a problem.
But the streak is over, Mr. Camel.
Hey, all good things must come to an end.
You had a good run, but you've been ousted.
All right, let's see. I got my girlfriend and her kids interested. So I'm going to find out who's joining me.
Sure.
Who? Just tell me who.
Oh, I did have the best lie though.
You did.
I'm the worst liar.
And I'm the comedian. I like that. I'll take it.
Best personality, Terry. All right, so it's going to be two of them.
Well, I mean, and since I've been dethroned, I feel it's only appropriate that appropriate mood music.
Yeah.
Let's turn this up a little bit more. Hold up. Holding up. There we go. Settings. Required Twitch. Oh. Yeah, forget that. No, there was I remember watching Quiplash stream just on Twitch. I just watched it randomly. And she was extremely annoying. And she's like, "Yeah, thanks for keeping the racism and the sexism out." And I'm like, "Oh, you were asking for it now."
Yeah, that's just a terrible idea to mention that there's a lack of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not racist, but if you tell me, hey, thank you for not being racist, the first thing that's going to come out of my mouth is like, just 1488 and just all kinds of other nonsense.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
is Kevin yet?
Oh, I have to join. I suppose that's a good idea. Oh, I did join.
Yeah, so you're in. I don't see Camel's name.
Camel.
I'm popping in now.
Oh, there you are.
Cool.
All right, so Terry's VIP, so he's in charge.
Welcome to Fitness. I'm Cookie Masterson, and I'm at least partially to blame for everything that happens here today. I see there are 4 of you playing.
Yeah, at least somebody's taking responsibility.
Like one as did as everybody else. Oh, and anyone else who wants
That'd be
to get
Woo.
in can be in the audience. The audience votes on fake answers to fool those gullible players, and they also get to guess the truth. Let's hit it. This is round 1, and that means you get 500 for each player you fool with your made-up answer, and you'll get
My eye itches.
for finding the truth. Select a category. All right, question 1. In 1999, the Make-A-Wish Foundation put a new restriction on wishes. The organization officially banned kids from requesting blank. Enter your lies now. Hurry, hit the lie for me button if you can't think of something. Okay, here you go. Find the truth.
Okay, not to die is a good one.
Visits from adult film stars. That's
All right, let's see what you guys picked.
ah.
Fluid.
Wow.
Ah, I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, me either.
I mean, the kids are dying. Let them kill something before they go out.
Now you know how it feels, Steve.
Or maybe they're just worried that some terminal cancer kid's going to go all Dick Cheney out in the woods.
The whole bunch translates to the blank sheep spoils the whole flock. All right, type in your lies.
I think this one's pretty straightforward.
Well, we'll have to see what the options are because
All right, pick the truth.
Fat.
S, just S on its own.
Oh crap!
Oh, you had
Pick
it
one.
Let's see what everybody selected.
Nope. Oh. Terry, you're killing me. You're killing me.
Yay!
Scabby? Really?
Scabby.
Okay.
Covered in scabs.
is up. Brandon Thompson is a non-traditional romantic. He proposed to his girlfriend while blank. Write your lies now.
So who is Woo?
Woo is my girlfriend.
Ah, that figures.
And what did people pick?
Damn it.
Oh.
And she said yes.
And their child went on to be on Cops, playing at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Get ready for round two, where all the points.
Yeah, but the twist ending of that story is he's actually the cop. He went all Alex P. Keaton on those fools.
Speaking of,
Yeah, I saw that.
Here's your question. In the mid-1980s, the NYPD dispatched a special undercover cop to local bars to protect people from blank. Type in your lies now. Hurry, hit the live for me button. Okay, find the truth.
well, that just
Is it cocaine or is it fake cocaine?
It's not fake, apparently.
it must be the real stuff.
Ah.
Really? What?
That's awesome.
Seriously?
And had a reputation for accidentally falling on people when he got tipsy.
Okay.
That man never got tipsy. Are you kidding me?
Like a quart of vodka barely got him buzzed.
The guy could take bottles.
Time to pick a category.
The guy could take bottles by the.
Try this one. Sure, Pornhub gets some weird searches on their site, but things got especially weird in May 2017 when it got 2.5 million searches for blank. Write your lies now.
Maybe I should have put the filter on.
Okay.
Yeah, you're kind of regretting that now, ain't you?
All right. Who picked what?
Oh, I got it wrong.
Gophers?
I realized exactly what it was after I hit the button.
Yep.
My sincere hope is that by the time
See, I put Fortnite thinking that fit, and then I saw fidget spinner. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That
as soon as I saw fidget spinner, I knew that was the right answer. And I think Bowsette was past 2017, so
That was last year. That was 2018.
It's so 2018.
But it was all I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, that was difficult. Let me do it for you.
Well, I mean, we were equally conditioned by low ping.
Yes,
Barry.
this is true.
Digital Studies 422, a course also known as blank literacy. Enter your lives now.
That low ping, he does like his Bowser quite a lot.
Okay, where's the truth?
All right, I'll bite. I'll bite.
Okay, let's take a look.
Thank you.
Fooled every sucker in the room. Nice.
What?
Huh?
Holy what?
Fail or Al Pastor.
Okay.
That okay. I'll take the win on that one.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out how they got taco from that.
Technical and computer orientation or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Thinking about a trip to Charles City, Iowa? Make sure to see Mark Hugh's farm where he's faithfully recreated the blank from blank. All right, type in your lies.
How many kids do you think got pissed when they found out that they weren't actually getting tacos in that class?
Oh, I know.
Flower from fart. Nice.
Knowing our luck, that'll be the right answer. Damn it, Camel.
No, you got me.
Nice.
Not your finest effort.
Yeah, that's a boring answer. I think our lies were more interesting than that.
Yeah, I mean, who
Ooh.
wants to go see a recreation of English tennis courts?
Yeah, I know. But well done, Johnny. He's pulled out the win with that beautiful BuzzFeed lie.
Yeah, that thing kind of cemented it for me.
Yeah. That was a good
Well,
lie.
Not to sound like a sore loser, but I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here and get me something to eat and take a nap before work.
Yeah, it's kind of getting late into the morning for me too. I might bounce.
All right. Yeah, seems like everyone's leaving.
So thanks for the invite. It's always fun to chat and to play these games.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, it was a good test, and it's nice to know this thing runs as smooth as it is.
Yeah,
I mean, no problems at all. That's awesome.
it runs perfectly. Yeah, there's not even any lag. So normally when I play these games on a stream, from what I'm seeing to what's actually happening in the game, there's like a 5-10 second lag. None at all. It was running perfectly.
Oh, Sinatra's doing his 100K special.
Oh, nice.
You know, I was thinking about trying to get him to join us on Sunday.
Cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
I mean, if
But
he's not doing anything.
He's going to be the hardest one to get to.
Anyone
Yeah.
else notice how fast he got to? I mean, it seemed like just a little bit ago he was, getting like 50K.
It's probably like Monkey says, he's the only one still doing straight up anti-SJW stuff,
Yeah, he's still plugging away, man. That's
whereas everyone else sort of gave up on that genre.
but that's awesome.
Yeah,
I might listen to a little bit of that one. Getting me something to eat before I go lay down.
yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Yeah, it's been a great stream.
I guess I will leave you all, with a parting thought.
Well,
I'm here. I'm gay. I'm open. Who is the other guy?
I love Gutenberg sometimes.
That will never get old to me.
No. And thanks to Pat for dropping by while he did. That was
Yeah.
Yeah,
very
and
well too.
De La Hazed and Sid and
Yeah.
Foogie was
Foogie,
one of the first ones to pop in here.
and then the other guy, the legendary Blue Gamer who subbed and then left
Yeah.
after being asked to join the group.
No, not to worry.
Yeah, he asked Terry to join the group and then just bails.
Well, I didn't see that. Like, I saw him asking you, but then I was focused on the Hangout window, so I didn't see him ask me in chat. Otherwise, I would have said something.
Right.
By the time I saw it, you'd already replied to him, and you asked if he had Twitter.
Yeah, I asked if he had a Twitter, and he was already gone by then. So yeah, next time, if he catches, then yeah, we'll get him on next time.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Well, yeah, you guys have a great
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah, you too. I'll see you later.
And yeah, I can't think of a closer because Bloodwing's back, and I can't use Get Off My Lawn.
It
That's his.
is his, yeah.
Well,
Get Bloodwing's lawn. Hey.
I guess for a closer, just remind people that the truth is out there.
I thought the truth was going to be that Monkey will suck dick to be allowed to stream.
Let me stream and I'll suck your dick.
I mean, it just goes without saying at this point.
All right. I'll see you later, guys.
All right. I'll
Bye.
see you.
Bye.
Bye.